How is everybody doing tonight? Welcome to another episode of Weaponized Autism. I am your host, Chris, flying solo for the evening. My partner in Tism, Kason, will be lingering in the chat for tonight's episode, and we will be back together tomorrow evening for a new episode of Bottom of the Bin. Sorry, I'm just getting things a little hastily put together tonight. How is everybody doing? Hope everybody has had a good week so far. Alrighty. Give us all a moment to let you guys filter into the chat. I'm also just noticing that in my haste to get this started up, I forgot to update the stream's thumbnail. So give me a second so I can correct that little error. So I guess you guys are preferring the one video a week format, since that got the majority of the votes in our last community poll. All right, let me just make sure that took. And it did. Very much. So, well, at least this egregious error was corrected in 2.5 minutes of the stream starting. Not like a Chance Wilkins stream where he starts and then spends like a half hour just inviting everybody into the stream. Yeah, isn't that yeah. So and if you're wondering why I keep putting my little AI character avatar in wrestling shirts, it's because lately I've been on a wrestling bender. I just started binging the WCW Monday Nitro on the YouTube channel, and so also currently working on a playthrough of WWF Attitude for the PS1. I'm doing a career mode run as Big Boss Man. I figured I'd try to use one of the more underappreciated guys, one of the mid-carders, because, everybody can pick. Everybody would pick The Rock or Stone Cold or The Undertaker or Kane or Mick Foley and his assortment of insanity. So, anyways, we've got an interesting show for you tonight. We've got a couple of Atozi updates. One on Andrew Tate, who is now, as far as I know, who was arrested, and as far as I know, is awaiting extradition to the UK. An update on the TikTok DoorDash girl that falsely accused an unconscious man of SA because she just wanted to get get eyeballs on her, and well, she got her wish, just not for the reason she wanted. Apparently Ben Azuli uploaded some sparring footage, and it did not go over well, so we're gonna take a look at that. Bubba uploaded something on that. Kason sent me a couple of Danger Dolan videos over Discord, so we're going to take a look at those. And then we have a new video from Joe from Seattle, so hopefully we will get around to everything. But first, we have a couple more OBDJ wrestling meme videos that we did not get around to last week. So let us correct. Hold that thought there, Hulkster. Hold that thought. Alrighty. So this one is Hulk Hogan saying questionable things. Amazing that it's amazing that it only occupies a minute and a half of video time. That's something else. All right. Oh, wait. Just noticed that the cropping on the window is a little off. Let me fix that. It's funny, I'm looking at Hogan again because I was just watching, since he was with WCW when Nitro started. Before the NWA started, the Nitro started in 95 and the NWA didn't really formulate until 96, so whew. Alright, Hogan. Let me get the clips ready. And, let's begin.
Yo, homeboy! Welcome to the hood, brother! Hulkamania! Come into your own home! I'm gonna get off by cranking your knob!
Hold up. God damn it. Hulkamania coming into your own home. I hope you brought a towel.
I'm gonna get off by cranking your knob.
At least buy me a drink first.
And my rides you long and hard.
At least buy him dinner first.
You've been coming off the top rope, man. The body of a god, the mind of a demon.
Are you... It says, what the hell are you talking about? He's probably talking about himself. It'd be nice if you answer your messages. Hey, yeah, that's kind of what happens when you got a one-track mind and you're just in the zone, brother. Anyways.
Oh. Man, the body of a god, the mind of a demon. As I see the raw, pink meat.
No comment.
I will double strap you with both fists. Number one. I went down to the hood. I got wood. You can just go ahead and call me Woody.
Oh my god. To be fair, I'm in a couple servers in Discord now, and those have had my attention. Hey, I get it, man. I completely understand that. I do not need to picture Hulk Hogan with wood. You ever notice Hulk Hogan looks like a hot dog? His skin pigment resembles a hot dog. If you touched his skin, it would feel. I'm sure it would have felt really leathery, like an overcooked hot dog. That's okay. That actually explains why he wore yellow all the time. It was the mustard.
DDP, the little pee-pee. My kids turn me on.
Discord friends group on Facebook and added a bunch and naturally ended up in a few servers. Hey, that happens. That does happen.
The dark side of Hulkamania. Thank God for Donald Trump. Vader ain't nowhere around the place, man. Take it easy, big man.
What the fuck? What the hell? What was that about? Yeah, exactly. Why did that happen? One chick sent me in. Ugh. Oh, I hate those so much. Or the, hey, follow for follow, my shit's on private. Nah, I'm good. That just makes me think you're a thought for followers. And it's like, that didn't work on me when I was 18, and it doesn't work on me at 33.
That was just the right guy. Donald Dick.
I'm here,
brother.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
All right. I want to live forever, brother.
Oh. Oh, no. Man, God, I don't want to use it as a deal breaker. It most definitely is. Yeah, a very good thing she was an adult. Ugh. Do you realize that Kevin Nash is the only member of the original NWO that is still alive? The original trio, 2/3 of it is gone. Scott Hall, Hulk Hogan, both gone. The only member of the original trio that's still standing is Kevin Nash. Until his quads until he ends up tearing his quads again. See that video of that 5 or 6 year old sticking it to Hulk Hogan at a signing? Dude, I saw that. I saw that video. It was him and Hogan having a back and forth at Hogan's merch shop in Florida. Dude, I love that video. It was amazing to see that there are still young kids who are really into that era, whose parents are raising them on that era of pro wrestling. You know, when we had characters and gimmicks. I hope his shop is still open in Florida. I don't know if Jimmy Hart's still alive, but I hope that Hogan's place is still open. Do you know that Jerry the King Lawler, has a burger joint in Memphis? I don't know if it actually is him, but I don't know, or I know it has Jerry Lawler's name on it, and there's a shit ton of wrestling stuff inside the... and there's a shit ton of wrestling stuff inside the place. I don't know if Jerry Lawler actually does own it. Anyway, so now we jump from Hogan to Scott Steiner saying Scott Steiner things. I wish I could show it in full, but it would probably get copyright claimed by TNA. But if you have the time, look up Scott Steiner math. It is, without question, one of the funniest promos you will have ever seen in your life. Because it's Scott Steiner trying to talk about mathematical variables and percentages. It makes no sense whatsoever, and it's just beautiful.
I'm just hard. I'm the man with the Big Dipper. Satisfaction's coming when I go behind and do the bump and grind. Size does matter, bitch. The man with the largest arms in the world.
I'm a Mormon, I can't look at TNA. Nice one. The largest erms in the world, Scott. Godzilla 98.
The man with the largest arms in the world. At Mayhem, you're
completely forgot where the promo was going.
I'm gonna say Vinny Vinny Fucci.
What?
I hate ducks!
The split-second switch. Size does better. Not if it runs away from the military like a little bitch. I love the like half-second switch between the real duck and the prop duck.
I hate ducks!
Oh wait, it wasn't even. For some reason, because the duck moved, I thought it was a real duck, and then just like in like 0.5 seconds, they switched it out with a real duck. It's just he saw a prop duck and just went into overload. I hate
I'm gonna
ducks.
say Vinny Vinny Fucci. I hate ducks! Hit the duck! Yes! Oh my god!
What the fuck?
Oh my god!
At least he was wearing underwear. At least he had briefs on.
This fat son of a bitch! Alright? He's fat! Take your
Gay! Very much.
clothes off and lay on that bench.
Hold up.
He's fat! Take your clothes off and lay on that bench. Fat asses! Hamburger with extra cheese, extra mayonnaise, and extra ketchup. Hailing from Dunkin' Donuts! From the great state of obesity! Everybody wants to know!
What?
I got freaks 9 days out of the week. I was gonna get 7 days in a week.
People in 2014 talking about the new Godzilla. He's fat! He's fat!
And you ain't big pop. I'm a big bad booty daddy non-stop.
What?
What am I gonna do? Play the guitar? I can't play the guitar. I know you love sugar, but I ain't got none.
Are you sure about that, Scott? Are you sure about that? This is bad. My hacker probably. Are you sure you ain't got no sugar, Scott? I'm pretty sure you've got a tank full of sugar. Willy Wonka sized. Oh, dude, that WCW Revenge N64 music is just slaps. So anyway, Kason, I did in fact save a couple of the Danger Dolan videos you sent my way. The one we're going to start off with is the 15 dumbest deaths ever. Oh my lord. Most N64 music does. That is very true. So, 15 dumbest deaths ever. Let's go.
Danger Dolan. From allergies of semen to not noticing the plane about to make a crash landing on your face. We count 15 times people have died in the most embarrassing ways.
What? Touching wires causes instant death. $200 fine. Who's gonna pay the fine? He's dead!
Number 15. In Washington state, it's perfectly legal to have sex with animals, and people regularly do. But two guys decided to break into a barn and have sex with a horse. Hours afterwards, one of the guys complained of stomach pain and was taken to a hospital only to get pronounced dead. The cause? Perforation of the colon from butt sex with a horse. And the crazy thing is, the other guy only received a $300 fine and 1 year suspension. Not even a few weeks later, he was caught having sex with a Shetland pony.
Ugh! 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 Ow! Oh! Oh, that's so fucking nasty. Oh.
Number 14. South Korea. A 28-year-old guy has a 50-hour StarCraft marathon at a local internet cafe in the city of Daegu, only to drop dead on the spot. During his 50 hours of gaming, he hadn't slept or eaten much of anything, only pausing to go to the toilet or have a short power nap. The cause of death turned out to be heart failure stemming from exhaustion, and he also got fired from his job because he never turned up since he, died.
No video game is worth playing for 50 hours straight. Not one. As much as, like, I've had my fair share of extended sessions, of extended gaming sessions. I wouldn't take breaks and eat, I don't know, fucking be a human, exactly. Even I wouldn't go for that long a time period. Hell no.
13. A 55-year-old motorcyclist riding for over 30 years, he was riding one day in a 30-mile rally from Syracuse to Lake Como in New York in protest of anti-helmet laws. He then promptly died when his bike went out of control and he landed on his head, suffering brain injury and death. Although the rally isn't in protests of helmets altogether, their cause is to get rid of the law and allow people to choose to wear helmets of their own free will. And this guy died because he chose wrong.
So, you're still reeling from the fucking horse. The more you fuck around, the more you find out. For real. Ugh. So... So that was just natural selection, basically.
Number 12. Pure irony. An old man receives a bogus receipt in the mail ordering him to pay for his own cremation service, which apparently took place a week earlier. In the ultimate twist of fate, the man was so shocked by the receipt that he had a heart attack and died. His body was even shipped off to the exact crematorium that the receipt was for, and he was given the same serial number as the one from his receipt. This poor, unlucky bastard. Number 11.
That's fucked up. The VOD of the stream is going to be entertaining tomorrow when I make pizza. Oh, sure. I have no doubt about that. That is supremely fucked up.
11. A guy with a wife that had a sore neck refused to take her to a doctor or chiropractor and instead decided to fix her neck himself. But he didn't do it with his hands, oh no. He built a wood and rope device that operated very similar to a noose. He didn't want his wife to get hurt, so he tested it on himself first, and wouldn't you know it, it hanged him and he was dead. Number 10. A man...
So once again, natural selection.
And who drowned from kissing a lake. A story from the Middle Ages about a Chinese poet, Li Bai, who, if legend would have us believe, tried to kiss or embrace the moon's reflection in the water when he fell in and drowned himself. Since then, this story has become a common tale in Chinese culture. A warning not to dunk your goddamn face in a lake and try to drink the moon, because he won't be around for breakfast the next morning. Number 9.
I can't feel sorry for that poor bastard. What a fucking idiot. Your IQ is brown, dude.
Whoever came up with the name Wii for Nintendo's video game console was either a marketing genius or an idiot. In one competition back in 2007, a 28-year-old woman was given half pints of water every 15 minutes, with the winner the person who could hold their bladder the longest. The prize being a Nintendo Wii. She came second in the competition, but 6 hours later she was found dead from acute water intoxication. 10 employees in the competition were fired, and people were told never to enter a competition to do with drinking water and holding your bladder. Number 8.
So... Should have went we instead of dying for a we. Oh, dude. Oh.
Emotional, damn it, 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 emotional.
Jeez. Oh. The last guy tried to drink the moon. He either tried to drink the moon or he tried to kiss the moon's reflection off the lake water. Either way, that's just. So she overhydrated, is what happened.
1771, a Swedish king, Adolf Fredrik, sat down to eat a large, luxurious meal of lobster, champagne, and caviar. But it was his dessert that ended his life. 14 bowls of a cream-filled pastry served in hot milk, bowl after bowl down his throat until his digestive system just gave up and died. His legacy would turn from legendary king to what kids refer to as that idiot who ate himself to death on pudding.
You retarded. Yeah, apparently he was. So was this guy. Dude, like. In the immortal words of Scott Steiner, he's fat!
A 43-year-old mother of three decides to join an internet bestiality chat room, and in so doing she meets a man with a German Shepherd. They meet up and he allows the dog to have sex with her, even ejaculate inside of her, only to discover too late that she is actually allergic to dog semen. It quickly spreads through her immune system and then she went into anaphylactic shock, then died. It's not exactly a story the kids wanted to see carved into her tombstone.
Oh,
Man, everybody got AIDS and shit.
Jesus. God dang.
6. A Brazilian couple who simply could not wait to get back home to do the dirty. They pulled over in one of the busiest Brazilian highways. It was covered in fog at 6 a.m. and they had sex. Unfortunately, most drivers can't exactly see when lighting is dim and fog abundant. A cargo truck swerved in their direction and hit them while they were in the middle of intercourse. They hadn't parked on the curb or at a gas station, you might think. No, they were parked in the right-hand lane of traffic when they decided to whip out their junk. 5.
Does anyone have any holy water? Oh my god, for real, dude. You were so fucking stupid, you couldn't even pull off to the side of the road. You had to park in the middle of the damn road while you... That's just God punishing you for being stupid.
2 kids were bored in their apartment building one day, unsupervised, so they decided to have a bit of fun by dropping furniture from the 27th floor onto pedestrians far below. First they started with small things like fruit, but after a while they started throwing out huge things like chairs and a television. When asked later, after they had murdered many people, these kids replied that all they were doing was trying to squash the ant-looking things on the footpath below, also known as humans. 4.
Are you retarded?
Oh my god. 5 years ago, I was walking down First Street in my hometown, and from a house with thin walls, I heard... Dude. Yeah, those two are a danger to themselves and others. That is, ugh. Trauma!
A Canadian lawyer called Gary Hoy so determined to prove his 24th story windows were unbreakable that he slammed his body into the glass at top speed. Although he did survive the first attempt, once again he took another leap to reiterate his point, only for the window to give way and Gary to fall to his death. The window hadn't actually shattered though, it had simply popped out of its frame and fallen, proving Gary's point, but not in the most ideal way.
I actually saw that one. I saw that one on I don't know if you guys remember that show 1,000 Ways to Die. But that was one of the deaths they featured on it. Natural selection, also true. That just doesn't process for me because I am so deathly afraid of heights, I can't even tell you. Pretty sure it was an Ali Coca short or Morbid Fats. I saw, well, it probably did pop, it probably was on Ali Coca or Morbid Facts, but I saw it on an episode of 1,000 Ways to Die. I forget what channel it was on. It might have been like Spike TV or something. Back when that was still a thing. But, yeah, that was where I remember seeing. Never seen that show. Well, I don't know if it's on any streamers or if you. I'm sure you can find clips of it on YouTube. But yeah, some of the shit they showed off in that show was just so bizarre.
3. Taking just one Viagra has some pretty serious side effects, but a whole bottle is insane. One 28-year-old guy was dead by 2 girls to have sex with them all day for $3,000. He accepted, thinking it might be a good idea to go with multiple Viagra instead of just one, so he downed the entire bottle and actually won the bet. On the downside though, his heart beat too fast and 12 hours later he was dead from a heart attack. But it is a hell of a way to go.
He had come and gone. Only thing I saw on Spike was this Japanese game show involving a castle and Star Wars and 8-legged freaks. But his family took it very hard. Oh. Oh. That scene from Scary Movie 4 when Charlie Sheen thinks he's ODing on sleeping pills and it turns out to be Viagra. And he ends up with a full log jutting out of his sweatpants. Oh.
2. One guy walking along the beach, ironically enough wearing a red shirt, struck down when an entire aeroplane smashed into his face when it tried to make an emergency landing. The red shirt guy had obviously been listening to music and didn't notice the ungodly roar of a plane's engine blaring down behind him. The strange thing is though, you'd think the pilot would have noticed the only person standing in that spot and landed, anywhere else. Number 1.
Okay, that's just... That's why you don't wear headphones to the beach. Ideally speaking, you shouldn't be wearing headphones... The only public space you should be wearing headphones in is the gym. That's a whole lot of ass.
This one zookeeper just wanted to help this elephant get over some digestive problems, so he fed it some laxatives and waited for nature to take its course. He waited just a little bit too close to the elephant's ass though, since it unleashed brown justice all over the zookeeper's face. So forceful was the intestinal avalanche that it literally buried the zookeeper in shit. 120 kilos of feces later, the zookeeper was well dead, and the elephant relieved that the whole ordeal was over. That's it for this countdown. And have a good one!
That's a shitty way to go. Oh, you think you've got a shit job? Uh, ugh, ugh. He probably, right before it happened, thought this day couldn't possibly get any shittier. Oh, I come back from cleaning up shit to death by shit. Oof. God.
This is the biggest legal...
All right. Next up, some Atozy action. Andrew Tate's life is over as he knows it. I sincerely hope so. Because watching him crash out all the way up to this point, for me personally, has been just fascinating. It is just, everything has just gotten progressively worse and worse for him over the last couple of years. And frankly, it makes me, well, like Hogan said, you can just go ahead and call me Woody.
This is the biggest legal crisis Andrew Tate has faced, and this time it's actually happening on American soil. And for years, Andrew Tate has built his entire brand about being the Giga Turbo Chad who shall teach you how to live your life.
Yeah, Giga Turbo Chad who wears capri pants and his clothes are 3 sizes too small for him. Sure. Oh god, where's the clip? There it is. By the way, the most pathetic thing, the only thing more pathetic than a man who makes a living trying to tell other men how to live is the men who unironically give that very obvious con man their hard-earned money. Sorry, not sorry.
I think it's safe to say you wouldn't want to live your life like this guy, especially if what he's accused for turns out to be true, because every investigation
turns out to be true. He's been admitting it on podcasts for years, but then as soon as he gets arrested for it, oh, that was just a character. Oh, that's just AI. Oh, that's not really me. That's just a shtick. Yeah, sure. And even if you are portraying a character, unless you're a heel in professional wrestling, it's a pretty shitty way to portray yourself to young, disenfranchised men.
every arrest, it's all part of the Matrix. In his version of events, powerful people are terrified of him because he tells the truth. And everything that happened to him is nothing more than just political persecution. Well, that argument just got a whole lot harder to sell. Because over the weekend...
Let me remind you all that this clown actually tried to make himself seem like he's being turned into a political martyr. He tried to put himself on the same level of Donald Trump after Trump was shot. This shit stain tried to put himself on the same level of Charlie Kirk after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He is nowhere on their level. He is a skid mark on the tighty-whities of society. And he needs to be bleached out as quickly as possible. And then he needs to drink some bleach.
And Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan were arrested by U.S. Marshals in Miami after British authorities requested their extradition back to the United Kingdom. They spent the weekend in federal custody before appealing to a Miami courtroom wearing jail uniforms, handcuffs, and shackles. And this isn't just like another update to the whole Romanian case that's been dragged on for years. No, British prosecutors have now brought on a new wave of charges against both of the brothers. So this is all separate, and Andrew is now facing dozens of charges in the UK, including trafficking, assault, and worse. And on top of everything, multiple counts related to indecent images of a child. Tristan is also facing his own charges: assault, trafficking, and worse. And in this case, the worse is the R word that YouTube isn't too big of a fan of. But regardless, the brothers...
Yeah, because everybody who runs YouTube has a spine constructed entirely of Jello. 2023 was an interesting year in terms of this fucknut. Most certainly.
They deny all of this, and they say the cases against them are politically motivated.
Andrew now faces a total of 42 charges in the UK. Tristan faces 17. The head of the CPS Special Crimes Division, this is Malcolm McAfee, said these charging decisions followed receipt of a further file of evidence from Bedfordshire Police and bring the total number of alleged victims in this case to 7.
Now, if you somehow have managed to avoid hearing about Andrew Tate over the last few years, or don't know...
Better not be no booze in that cup. It's not. It's Mr. Pibb. I don't drink. I can drink, I just choose not to.
Who he really is? Well, here's the quick version. Dude is essentially one of the most successful course sellers ever. He blew up massively, and with that come up, a whole bunch of his past came to light, like how he ran a whole bunch of camgirl websites and allegedly e-pimped women to siphon as much money out of lonely men as possible. Ironically, it seems like the main target of his course was lonely men, so I guess you could say he was double dipping. Dude just essentially went back for seconds. But anyway, he made some stupid money from this, and we're talking like some buku bucks here. He had the Lambos, he had the McLarens, he had the Bugattis, and I guess the...
All of them, well, most of them at least being rentals. Dr. Perky. I've never heard of that one. I never saw that in Illinois, and I've never seen that in Missouri so far. Maybe it's a South Carolina thing.
Attention of authorities, because back in late 2022, Romanian authorities arrested Andrew and Tristan Tate as a part of an investigation into the
Food Lion brand. Yeah, we don't have Food Lion, and as far as I know, we don't have any Food Lion stores in Cape Girardeau.
Allegations of human trafficking. And not only that, but also forming an organized criminal group. Prosecutors, they allege the brothers were recruiting young women by pretending they were in genuine relationships, and then manipulated some of them into producing adult content for profit. The Tate brothers, however, have denied all of those allegations from the very...
Keep in mind that they used to state it explicitly on their website that this was what they did. This was their goal, this was their job. And then they got arrested, and people started digging into it, and they immediately started scrubbing all of it off the internet, including scrubbing it from the Wayback Machine, which I didn't even know you could do. Okay, so it's primarily in the Carolinas. I gotcha.
Very start. And the Romanian case, I mean, it has been nothing but straightforward. I mean, it is a mess in itself, and it would require, I don't know, easily an hour-plus long video to even get through it all. Essentially, over the last few years, there's been appeals, procedural challenges, and disputes over how prosecutors handled parts of the investigation. And at one point, the Romanian court sent sections of the indictment back to the prosecutors because of legal issues with how parts of the case had been prepared. Now, this doesn't mean the brothers were cleared. It means prosecutors had to continue working through the case. So, while all of that was happening, Romanian authorities eventually relaxed the brothers' travel restrictions, allowing them to actually leave the country under certain conditions. And earlier this year, they traveled to the United States. They went to D.C., and they went to Annapolis, Maryland.
Yeah, because they thought that they could appeal to Donald Trump. They thought they could appeal to Trump and say, hey, look, we're political martyrs. They're trying to politically persecute us just like they are doing to you. And Trump wasn't having any of it. Not only was Trump not having any of it, but Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, opened up, he had his state's attorney general open up their own investigation into Tate, which makes the fact that he was arrested in Florida twice as funny, if you ask me.
got a car, and came to Annapolis.
And eventually, they found their way down to Florida. But here's what Andrew Tate may have not expected. Just because Romania allowed him to travel didn't mean that every other country was finished investigating him. British authorities, they've been conducting their own investigation into allegations dating back years. And as that case continued to develop, prosecutors put their fair number on extra charges. And once the brothers were on American soil, the United Kingdom requested their extradition. So I guess instead of enjoying a trip to Florida, he found himself in a courtroom fighting to avoid being sent back across the Atlantic. So I guess for you...
Keep in mind that this dipshit was caught on a jailhouse phone recording trying to get one of his people to bribe a public official to relax the charges against him and his brother. If not, just outright get the case dropped. This guy did not know that when you're in jail and you make phone calls, they monitor everything you say on that call. They listen to you. They transcribe everything you say, and this dipshit did not know that. So he should have, if he was smart, he would have stayed in Romania, because Romania does not have extradition treaties with the UK, but the US does. If he was smart, he would have either stayed in Romania or he would have straight up fled to a country that has no extradition treaties. But he can't, because he's a fucking... He didn't do that because he's a fucking idiot. This... Ugh.
Years, Andrew Tate has been complaining that governments around the world were trying to stop him from traveling. Then, Romania finally relaxed his travel restrictions. He flew to the United States, probably thinking that I guess he could enjoy a little bit of freedom for once, but psych, no he can't. Not if the UK has anything to do with it. Because just within a few days, he was back in handcuffs, and somehow the timing gets even stranger, because just days before federal marshals arrested the brothers in Miami, they weren't exactly laying low. Now, photos surfaced of Andrew and Tristan posting with Congressman Wesley Hunt. They also attended a party hosted by Paolo Zamponi, and he apparently serves as the special envoy of global partnerships. Now, it's worth pointing out that Zampoli himself, he said there was nothing official about this event. According to him, it was simply a party at his home, and he said the brothers asked if they could stop by. They chatted for a few minutes, and there was no discussion about the presidential pardon. And I do want to mention that before Monday's hearing, Joseph McBride, Andrew Tate's lawyer, was arguing that the UK case could be politically motivated. He said that he believed that the Trump administration would recognize that and oppose sending the brothers back to Britain. And
the same Trump administration that before the election suggested the possibility of making human trafficking a capital offense punishable by death in this country. Oh, by the way, you were arrested in Florida. Be thankful you're being extradited to the UK, because in Florida, I believe human trafficking is a capital offense punishable by death. You fucking chode sandwich.
And the reason I mention that is it almost feels like the defense for the Tates are trying to frame this as a disagreement between the governments rather than simply an extradition case. It's definitely an interesting legal strategy, to put it lightly. I guess they're just trying to argue that they're so relevant and embedded with the right that it has to be a big political case. I don't think so.
Most of the I promise you, the majority of the American right either does not know who these guys are, or does know who they are, and goes out of their way to avoid them as much as possible. Anybody claiming to be a conservative who platforms these two is a liar. Without a doubt, in my mind, they are unequivocally a fraud. Every single conservative who platforms this guy and tries to make him out to be a political martyr or a victim of political persecution, everyone, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Benny Johnson, Patrick Bet-David, the Hodge twins, fuck all of you.
But honestly, at this point, who knows what will happen? We live in interesting times. Things which I would think would be a joke just, I don't know, 7 years ago, are now very real. I feel like we've been in funny land since early 2020. Regardless, though, this is an interesting legal strategy, to put it lightly, and McBride, he called this case garbage. He called it a stitch-up job, and he even described the extradition effort as political kidnapping. Well, I mean, if any of these allegations are true, it doesn't look like that to me.
Now, attorneys for the Tates have adamantly denied any wrongdoing. Lawyer Joseph McBride did not mince words in a lengthy statement saying, in part, the world knows Andrew and Tristan Tate are innocent. Their enemies know it best of all. That is exactly why they have been attacked. He continued, understand what Britain just did. There is a long-standing agreement between the UK and Romanian governments that the UK would not seek extradition while the Romanian proceedings are pending. Those proceedings are ongoing right now. That agreement exists because no nation gets to trample the judicial sovereignty of another for political convenience. The UK shredded its own word the moment it became useful to shred it. That is who they are. This extradition demand has one purpose: to kidnap Andrew and Tristan through paperwork before an American jury exposes the truth to the entire world. We are confident that once a competent judge sees the facts and once the Department of Justice confronts this egregious abuse of its own authority, Andrew and Tristan Tate will walk free. America does not...
By the way, if you go on YouTube and you type in Andrew Tate self-snitching, you will find hours upon hours of video content of this guy openly admitting that he is a human trafficker, that he is a manipulator, that he is manipulating women to make money. There is no abuse of authority. There is no such thing as abuse of authority with him or his brother. There is no political persecution. This thing masquerading as a man needs to be dealt with to the fullest extent of the law.
Not do Britain's political dirty work, not here, never.
Okay, so I guess it's his take that they were kidnapped in Florida. That's kind of been Andrew Tate's position for years. Every investigation, every arrest, every accusation, according to him, it's all connected. It's never just a criminal case. It's always governments trying to silence him because of his influence or something like that. So I guess while the defense argues this is political persecution, the reality is that the brothers are now dealing with legal proceedings in multiple countries. And now, for the first time, that legal battle has landed in an American courtroom. When the brothers finally appeared in federal court on Monday, there wasn't much to see. Andrew and Tristan, they were brought into the courtroom wearing tan jail uniforms with handcuffs and shackles around their waists and ankles. Apparently, the two men who were in jail...
I love that asterisk with the editor's interpretation. That's just... Oh, that's beautiful.
Uniforms with handcuffs and shackles around their waists and ankles. Apparently, the two men, who, as we know, are never quiet online, they barely spoke. According to the reporters in the courtroom, the only words that were said are, "Yes, Your Honor," when they asked if they understood their rights. That's about as far from an Andrew Tate podcast as you can probably get, especially considering that he has...
Of course, he's a very tough guy when he's got a camera in front of him and on his podcast. He's a very tough guy when he's got a microphone in front of him on his podcast. But that's what all these guys are like. They either have diarrhea of the mouth where they can't shut the fuck up, or they're scared little bitches.
There's no problem giving a 3.5 interview recently on everything that happened. Obviously, I'm not going to play 3.5 hours of this, but overall, the message is pretty consistent with what he's been saying for years. According to Andrew, the British authorities have been determined to get him no matter what. He argues the allegations are false. He says the women accusing him are lying or being manipulated, and he insists that the entire case is part of a much bigger campaign to destroy his reputation and silence him. In other words, it's kind of like the same argument that we've heard really since his first arrest in Romania. Nothing's his fault. Everything's political. And everyone, of course, is out to get him. And he recounts...
It's not my fault, you guys. I'm not doing anything wrong. It's everybody else who's a spineless bitch. God, I hate you. I hate people like you so fucking much, I can't even... It's not even funny.
All of this here.
And because my reputation was in the gutter,
when I got out of jail, I was like, no, my best way to fight back is to tell the truth on emergency meeting podcasts and use my plea army to spread the truth. I'm not lying to anybody. Tell everyone what can happen. UK State was behind all this. Anyway, I currently have, and from that point onwards, had no active case in the court. I was as free and innocent as any other person. Why am I left in my house?
Did you have a case in the UK at the time?
I had the case search and extradition.
Okay, got it.
That one. So who is telling the Romanian state, no matter what they do, to keep me locked in my house at least? Well, we're going to get there. The whole time we're trying to convince himself he won't quit. He won't give up. We've offered him money. We've offered him to give up. We've offered him capitulation. We've offered him to make all of it go away. We've offered him everything. He's still fighting. He won't give up.
He wants so badly. He wants so badly to be the main character of a conspiracy thriller. It's insane. It's like Benazuli with his obsession of being an action movie hero. It's like, you guys are so... God! You make me go from autistic to full retard. God, I hate you.
Buddy, I gotta dig a little deeper. There's no Pepe. So you gotta be kidding me. I got boxes full of Pepe.
And ultimately, that is not something YouTubers or people on Twitter are going to decide. That's what the courts are for. And their lawyers told the judge that they intend to fight the extradition. So this isn't a situation where they're just being put on a plane back to Britain right now. No, there's going to be hearings, legal arguments, and the judge will have to decide whether the requirements for extradition have been met under the treaty between the United States and the United Kingdom. But here's why British authorities are put...
Too bad they're not being held in the same facility as Wes Watson, so they can't be bunkies. They can't be shower buddies.
Pushing so hard. Because these aren't just like a handful of new allegations. No, according to prosecutors, the latest charges involve an additional complaint and alleged conduct spanning over several years. The newly unsealed court documents also describe some deeply gross accusations. And I honestly can't talk about the details too much here on YouTube. But let's just say the gist of it is a whole lot of violence and non-consensual acts. And the document also contains allegations against Tristan from a woman who says that he repeatedly assaulted her during their relationship. And again, the Tate brothers have denied the accusations and they say they're innocent. And I guess at least we know that Andrew Tate isn't afraid of the UK government.
We can go long and deep into the state of the United Kingdom because every single person I know with money is leaving. Why does the UK want to lock me up? Because I'm seen as a symbol of resistance against their communism. That's why they hate me. They hate me because I teach young men to think for themselves. That's why they hate me. Because the UK...
No, you don't. You have created an entire army of drones who do nothing but parrot every word coming out of your mouth. And guess what? The one good thing about it is that eventually they will turn 13 years old and they will realize what a flaming retard you are. Emphasis on the flaming. Because you got more sugar in your tank than a Hershey's factory.
UK's fallen due to a lack of masculinity, which is what I promote. That's why they hate me.
A lack of masculinity, which you suffer from a severe case of. There is nothing masculine about you. You are fruitier than an apple orchard, and I fucking detest that anybody could ever mistake you for a masculine male.
Are they going to try and get me? Probably. If I go to UK, will I ever get out? Probably not. Am I afraid of them? No, because I don't operate from a realm of fear.
And I guess because this story wasn't weird enough already, a guy by the name of Thomas Kravlov, he flew all the way from Dubai to Miami, allegedly spending 50 grand on this trip to, I guess, just campaign on the Tate brothers' behalf. What is he gonna do? What is this about? So he flew across the world to...
You blew 50 grand to fly across the world to cap for a dipshit. Some people should not be in charge of their own finances.
Stand outside a federal detention center, making videos urging people to tag Marco Rubio and the Trump family on social media, arguing that someone at the highest level of the U.S. government should personally review this case before the...
Yeah, I'm sure Marco Rubio's really going to take time out of his busy day of being... of working with the Trump cabinet to no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
brothers are extradited. I'm still trying to figure out what he's doing there. Like, he's not reporting from the trial. He's not giving us any new information. He's just like posted up in front of the jail. But his argument takes a turn that honestly just leaves me very confused, because he starts talking about wanting to protect the brothers from what he describes as PDF files and corrupt officials.
The Tate brothers got arrested in Miami and are facing extradition to the UK. And currently, I'm spending $50,000 on a trip to Miami from Dubai. I'm even taking my wife with me, because this whole situation, you might like them, you might dislike them, but when I'm seeing...
I can only imagine what is going through her head, that you are spending $50,000 to fly overseas to simp for two self-admitted pimps. And regardless of what you think about the label, pimps are human traffickers. They make money exploiting people. There is nothing admirable about pimping. It is a disgusting industry, and anybody who tries to make it look cool and glamorous, go drink some bleach.
That from the Epstein list, including the UK ones, are not in jail, but these guys are in solitary confinement right now. It raises eyebrows. It makes me question things, and it makes me want to...
Tate admires Epstein. You fucking retard. Tate literally worships Epstein. He is Epstein 2.0. Actually, Epstein 3.0, because Diddy is Epstein 2.0. You fucking cum rag.
Get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, there's a problem there.
It's to masculinity what your mother is to sanity. Andrew Tate is to masculinity what Andrew Tate is to masculinity what Alec Baldwin is to gun safety. And what modern WWE is to watchability.
Because, Andrew Tate himself is now facing multiple charges in the UK that include allegations relating to indecent images of a child, in addition to trafficking and assault charges. So, hearing someone frame this as, we have to protect these guys from the bad people, while seemingly ignoring the part that they're actually accused of, I mean, that's a choice. Like, if you're going to fly across the world to defend someone, you would think you would at least address the full list of allegations and maybe debunk them, instead of pretending that they just don't exist.
They can't. He can't. Oh, that's a bad image.
I don't know. So
he can't, because that would require... He can't, because he hasn't thought it... Either he hasn't thought it through, or he's intentionally hiding it, because he's a disingenuous... Because he's a disingenuous cockwaffle.
What happens next with the actual case? Well, despite all the headlines, Andrew and Tristan Tate aren't getting on a plane to Britain tomorrow morning. That's not how extradition works. Right now, they're fighting the UK's request in a federal court in Florida. Their legal team has already made it clear that they'll contest it every step of the way, so this process could easily take weeks or even months, honestly, if they just keep appealing. And the brothers have already waived their appearance for the last hearing that was on July 27th. So, in the meantime, they'll remain in federal custody while the court considers whether the legal requirements for extradition have been met or not. But regardless, even if the court approves this request, that isn't really the end of this process. Under the US/UK extradition treaty, there are additional executive branch steps before someone is actually transferred to another country. So, despite what people online are saying, this isn't a case where a judge simply says, yep, send him back to the UK, and they're just gone the next day. No, there's...
Yeah, no, the legal process is very slow. It takes way too long to... In my opinion, it moves way, way, way too slow. It just drags on for months and months and months and months and months and months and months, sometimes years. In my opinion, it should not be that way.
Several other legal hurdles they have to get through. And remember, this is only one piece of the puzzle. Because even while this extradition battle plays out, the brothers are still dealing with a long-running Romanian criminal case where they continue to deny allegations of human trafficking and forming an organized criminal group. In other words, even if they somehow avoid being extradited to the UK, their legal problems don't just disappear. So, I don't know. If they're extradited, then they'll be facing a completely separate criminal prosecution in Britain involving different complaints. And overall, just a new set of allegations that prosecutors have been spending years to build. So essentially, they are fighting a legal battle on multiple fronts. And for someone who's built this entire empire based on I shall be your guide of how to live, yeah, this doesn't seem like the ideal way to live. I don't see why one would ever put themselves in a position like this, let alone allegedly do something like that to the alleged victims. So, I mean, currently, his life, as he knows it, essentially is over for the next few years at least, because this is going to be a long fight. And for years, I mean, he's told his audience that every investigation was proof that powerful people were afraid of him. Essentially, every arrest was just an attack from the Matrix. So I guess that argument will face its biggest test yet. So I guess we just kind of have to wait around and see what happens.
I hope to God he tries that in court. He probably knows he can't because it's bullshit. But I sincerely hope that he and his lawyer are stupid enough to try that in court. And I hope it gets bitch slapped down because I will laugh so hard that I almost Cyrax myself. Yeah. Oh, God. That clip is the greatest thing that has ever come out of Chance Wilkins. Accidentally shitting himself in auto-tune. Oh, God. I sincerely hope the Tates try this argument, and it gets bitch slapped into oblivion.
If you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.
Alright, so I promised some Benazuli. And we got some Benazuli on today's episode of Bubba, on today's episode of the AMU, the Alpha Male Universe. King Azuli just destroyed his professional fighting career before it even started. Motherfucker, what professional fighting career? Oh, God.
Last time on the Alpha Male Universe.
Knock me out? I know he's gonna knock you out. And that's why I called him out for kickboxing. I want to fight in his field.
Oh, I don't know I don't remember if I covered this on the channel. This was supposed to be a hype up for an MMA fight. This guy, Gypsy Crusader, you could tell that they paid him to do this. Like it's supposed to be some kind of it's supposed to be some kind of fight promo. Dude, not even WWE, not even modern WWE scripting is this obvious.
I give you respect for that. So he can't say.
The liar, he is a blaspheming piece of garbage. I have no love for the guy at all. I just want to hurt him. He has put out some of the most pure cringe hype videos that I have ever seen from a fight.
You guys know by now. And
cringe.
Oh. Okay. I gotta hear this again.
He can't say.
The liar, he is a blaspheming piece of garbage. I have no love for the guy at all. I just want to hurt him. He has put out some of the most pure cringe hype videos that I have ever seen from a fight.
you guys know.
Exposed, 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 exposed. You are exposed. Exposed.
fuck up your spine. No doubt. Oh. That was beautiful. Ugh. Ugh, I spit on myself.
Know by now, Andrew Tate was supposed to have the fight with Gypsy Crusader. But he gave me a call, and he passed the fight to me. He knew something was going to happen, so he passed it on to me. Because that's what brothers do. Chase, you're next.
No! No, no, no! You are not Goldberg! You are not Goldberg, you fucking princess! Jesus! Oh my god! No! Absolutely not! You are not Goldberg, you... Oh! He's been hyping himself up, watching a shit ton of old Goldberg highlight videos from WCW. You know that's what's going on here, because his entire persona is a LARP. Like all of these alpha male guys. Jesus. No. No. It would somehow be less cringe if you were on here doing your best Hulk Hogan impersonation.
Welcome back to the Alpha Male Universe. So we're once again talking about the Chinless Lame. He doesn't need an introduction. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know who this monster is. And I know there's been several videos in a row about him, but that's kind of like the nature of the AMU. Things will go like really hot for a certain character, and then they'll fall off the face of the earth. So it's just kind of like how it is. And I wanted to just talk about this, is that damn, a lot of people got upset that I accidentally confused two MMA fighters. Jake Shields was the guy in the video, the last episode, and I mistook him for King David MMA. Some people thought I basically like spit in the face of their mother by confusing the two. I honestly think it's hilarious. I mean, come on, you're watching a guy with a buff Jabba the Hutt. Like, come on, can you not pick up on the trolling? But anyway, we're moving on from that, and we're talking about the Chinless Lame, how he is giving some insight into his training camp, his train up to the big fight, if he even shows up. And he's actually got like almost, I think, like 5,000 views on this video, so, you know, for once, it's actually not that bad for the Chinless Lame. He usually gets like 200 views, even though he has 500,000 subscribers. Yikes. And he's claiming that he fought an ex-UFC fighter. So that's a lot of exposition, it's a lot of build-up for this video, so let's jump into this right away.
What's going on, guys?
Okay, the Kratos making the heart hand gesture, cringe. Absolute cringe.
Another day, another championship on the way. Feeling good. Just got a nice haircut, cleaned up.
Notice how the camera is conveniently positioned so it doesn't show his chicken legs.
Today, we have an opponent. A guy named Jared. A guy that I've known for some time. And for some reason, he's been getting really upset that I became extremely known and famous on social media. And he was really upset from some of the things that I've said because he was in the UFC. And he was a UFC fighter, had multiple fights. I believe he was also in K1 or King of the Cage, one of those two, or maybe both of them. He's a great fighter. No one to think.
If he's such a great fighter, why don't you show us a highlight reel of his fights? You know? Why don't you show us some of his... Show us this guy in action. Don't just tell us that he's a... Oh, because it's bullshit, right? It's bullshit to try to make you look better. Fucking idiot.
Take lightly. I knew him personally. I used to
No, you didn't.
go with him to the same gym. After that, we...
Alright, so I'm gonna interject. Basically, the princess is trying to build up like a really intimidating, scary fighter. You would be thinking that this guy he is gonna be meeting in the ring for some sparring is like Boo Cow or something, okay? So he's trying to build up this fighter, okay? He's K1, he's UFC, he's all this shit. I'm telling you, when you see Jared, there's no fucking way this dude was a professional fighter. I mean, maybe he fought at like a carnival show, but there's just no way, man. There's literally no way. So I'm just gonna let that build up in the background, because when you see the moment of truth, you'll be like, hell no.
He told me he was coming to beat the shit out of me, and I kind of lost my screws and asked him where he was, send me an address. He didn't want to send me the
You didn't lose your screws, you were born without them.
address, and he stopped talking to me. So eventually I just blocked him. I felt very disrespected because he messaged my girl saying that I'm a bitch. You can't message somebody's girl and say that your man is a bitch and this and that. That just shows that you're a fucking bitch. So with that being said, like I said, he's not a bad guy.
Bullshit.
Let's his emotion.
None of this is true. I guarantee you none of this happened. I promise you he made this entire thing up on the fly, just like he makes up everything else about his life. His entire existence is a fabrication. And anybody who unironically follows this guy genuinely needs to not be in charge of their own finances or their own decision making. Because clearly your IQ is well below your own shoe size.
Emotions get to him. That's a problem today with weak men. So emotions. Like I said, he's not a bad guy, but lets his emotions get to him. That's a problem today with weak men.
I would have an easier time. Wow, Ben, that's so profound. That's so wise coming from a guy who crashes out every time somebody brings up his criminal past. And then tries to pivot at 180 and go, no, I wanted them to come at me. I wanted them to expose me. It was all perfectly fine. It was, oh, you're just mad because of, fuck you.
So he's been messaging my assistant saying that he wants to come spar me and he wants to be my friend.
I thought he was messaging your girl, so which is it, you fucking liar?
And he apologized. So one thing that I know is that if a man apologizes, I will accept it. He didn't do anything that bad to me for me not to accept an apology. So I hope that after today, we could be good friends and we could train together.
And hopefully we can meet up in the showers again and we can relive our glory years. That would be very nice. Ah!
Holy moly, what a roller coaster. 1 second we're at war with this guy, and then the next second they're best buds, and hopefully the princess can train with them. Well, he gave away something that he shouldn't have, and it's that calling Azule a bitch is something that really triggers him. And you know what? That's kind of a pattern in the AMU. Some people have commented saying, hey man, why do you call these dudes a bitch or whatever? It's to just piss them off. It is the most obvious play ever. They cannot stand being called that shit. And I honestly think it's hilarious. I don't know, maybe it's pushing it too far that he reached out to Azule's like ghost girl. Maybe it was clavicular. We all know about what went down in Miami between the two. But I think that's genuinely hilarious, to be honest. And so let's jump into this, like, what is it? Is this a Vice documentary? That's like the type of vibe I'm getting with this video.
This is actually the first fighting footage we're going to have of you.
Yeah?
Like actual you fighting, not playing around. And you know what else is crazy? This spar is going to be harder than your fight with Gypsy.
Yes.
People don't know that.
Because he's been trained by many different coaches. He fought many different times.
Professional UFC fighter.
He's
Show us his fight footage. Because I seriously don't... I don't believe a fucking word that comes out of your mouth unless you're showing me video evidence of it. But you're not going to. Because it doesn't exist. Because you made up this guy's entire backstory. You just got Rod from accounting to... You put out a fucking casting call for a dude to come out and fight you. In reality, you probably just played him. You just paid him to get his ass whipped to make you look good. I don't know if we're actually going to see anything resembling I know he put out sparring footage, and I know that's been getting blasted to hell. I haven't watched this video yet, so I don't know if that's going to be featured in here. If it's not, I'm going to be very disappointed. And I should have saved JD's video for that, because JD put out a video on it too.
He's a badass. He's not somebody to take lightly. He's a badass. He can beat the shit out of almost anybody.
You're a disgrace to all of Judaism. You're a disgrace to your homeland.
Before I get on the treadmill, just make sure to remember, August 29th, King Azulai will convert Gypsy Crusader. It's gonna be my fucking bitch.
You're an embarrassment to your homeland. You're an embarrassment to your faith.
But as of today, we got more battles to take on.
No, you
These
don't.
battles require our 100% focus. Because we're not just focused on Gypsy. Gypsy for me is chips, French fries, you know? Nothing special.
I feel like in the span of 1 minute, we watched 3 separate videos. I mean, where do I even start with this shit? One, the whole, oh my gosh, the praying, so performative. It's like when Sneeko LARPs as like a Muslim person. Azule's doing the same shit. It's all performative. It's all an attempt to be like righteous and create this whole like dichotomy of being like, oh, it's my culture versus theirs type shit. We kind of talked about this already in the last video, so I'm not going to continue talking about it. But then he says he has to focus to walk on a treadmill. It was like 35 seconds of him just walking on a treadmill. I'm not going to bore anyone out of their mind. Well, he said it requires extreme focus for this. Bro, if you need a focus to walk, are you fucking serious? This is the type of guy that gets gassed out by running downhill. He's also been exposed time and time again of faking his run times. I think like one time we exposed him, and if he actually would have ran that shit, he would be as fast as like Jakob Ingebrigtsen, a world-class elite, for some people, the GOAT of running. So this shit is just all performative.
Because I have some guys who are very adamant about kicking my ass. But when you tell them to come, like, oh, I live in Canada. Oh, I live in Tampa, Florida. Oh, I'm in the UK, I can't make it. I have work to do. Then maybe you have work to do and shut the fuck up and stop messaging me. What are you, a fucking dick?
None of these people messaged you. You made them all up. You hallucinated them all.
You can't.
Just like you hallucinated your
Whether
whole
you
lifestyle.
can't physically or you can't even make it, you can't. So why even fucking hit me up? You know why? Because you're a bitch and you're my cock.
Because it never happened. Wait,
That's
what?
why. You know why? Because you're a bitch and you're my cock. That's...
You wish they were. You want them to be. Why does nobody want to be my boyfriend? Ugh.
That's why you message me. Because you want this. You're just a gay guy who's super into me and knows that
And you're a predator.
And that upsets you. Oh, but King Azula, I married and I said that I could kick your ass. Well, it doesn't seem like you really care about your wife. Because you're in my DMs, not in hers.
That is not the laugh of a man who is secure in himself. That is the laugh of an insecure British cigarette who is trying desperately to project masculinity. And it's not working, because everybody knows what a clown you are. Honk honk, honk honk, honk 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 honk.
Let's get this fucking show on the road.
Yo, has he been watching too much AMU? Let's get this show on the road. But the laughing, oh, that shit sent me off. When I first was editing that, my sides were literally hurting. I'm not gonna lie, that shit talk was hilarious. It was hilariously bad. Bro really feels that he is him by saying that shit. And apparently he really likes women so much that he has to tell a bunch of people on the internet. I will tell you this, whatever guy has to insist, has to tell people that he really likes women and nobody asks him about it, that fool is probably taking some big sausage at night. I mean, I don't care if they are taking big sausage, but they're afraid to just be open about it. What a cringe ass moment, man. I'm definitely gonna use that laugh. That for sure is gonna be a meme clip here on the channel.
Oh god.
So 38 days to the fight.
38 days to the fight.
I thought it was 37 days to the fight, so which is it?
Yeah, we got some sparring on. Let's get this.
Ex-UFC fighter. This guy's the real deal.
Let's get it. Ready for one out of it?
There's no way. I don't buy for 1 microsecond that this guy used to be in UFC. You know that you remember that one promo when it was Vince McMahon and Steve Austin and Commissioner Slaughter in the ring, and Steve Austin goes, "You know, you're always saying this is an order, that's an order. Hell, looking at you, son, the only thing you've been ordering is a whole bunch of damn cheeseburgers." That's what I'm seeing with this guy. There's no way. I do not buy for 1 microsecond that this guy used to be in UFC.
You need to come out and really say you're not a fighter. You're not a fighter.
Why? If somebody had some fights in his life and he's not a fighter because he wasn't in the ring, he wasn't in the cage.
You have no idea. You're going to embarrass yourself. You have no idea.
No problem, but after this one, I'll get your respect, right?
Sure, absolutely.
I get the respect of, hey, this man came in, he fought the next UFC.
After this fight, will you cuddle with me in the showers? Ugh.
Fighter, sparred him, everything is great, you shake on it, everything is good, right? You respect his place here?
Okay, who the fuck is that guy? Is that supposed to be, like, David Shields? Is that supposed to be him? Who is this dude? Okay, I know I'm a filthy casual when it comes to MMA, but
I'm pretty sure that's the guy, Jared. That's not... I don't think that's David Shields. I think that is his buddy Jared that he invented, that he made up. There's no way this guy is actually... I hope he remembered to bring the sandwiches. I'm sure Ben would like a foot long, fully loaded.
But there's no way this dude is an ex-UFC fighter. There's no way, man. And before everyone comments, like 800 comments saying, that guy was the GOAT, that guy was GSP or something. Okay, in reality, there's no way. There's no way. I've said it like 4 times in a row. This shit is so cringe. Please comment down below if this is a legitimate fighter.
There must be. No problem. Bring me to kindergarten. Jared, you feel it? You brought me in the ring, doesn't you? You feel it?
Oh, this is not good. This is not good.
You feel it?
I've been doing this for 30 years, bro. What are you going to show me that I've never seen?
No.
What's it called?
Starting 10 seconds, sir. 8 seconds.
It's terrible. I'm sorry.
So you show me that machine, huh?
Ain't no way.
30, huh? 30. Jared.
So that was the insane combat footage. You know, these two guys went to war. In reality, what the fuck did we just watch? It looked like Azule didn't know how to throw a punch. He honestly looked lost in the sauce with those gloves, like it was the first time he's ever put them on. I mean, this is definitely damaging to his reputation. I mean, we all know what he has done in the past. He's committed S crimes. He's a mob.
Well, of course he can't. Of course he looks like an idiot fighting a quote-unquote fighter. A fighter, because I still don't buy for 1 second that this guy actually is a fighter. I'm going to check the comments after the video's over just to see for sure if anybody left any remarks on that. So he paid this guy to play keep away and block his blows. And I thought when you were a kid, a wise old Chinese man taught you kung fu. You don't move like somebody who's who knows anything about martial arts. You look like me trying to do martial arts.
Monster. But when it comes to the whole like fighting LARP, I have no idea why this guy continues to insist that he is a fierce fighter. There's just no way, man. And if you're wondering who that was in the background, that's his brother Dylan Azule, who may make an appearance in the AMU if he hops on the whole alpha male grift. But yikes, that was what we came for? Let's see if there's any more.
All about being a man and showing up. You ever want this motherfucker calls you out? Huh?
That was a good fight.
Show up.
That was good.
Well, back her fucking shit up. I want to hear from this guy right here who's been kicking my ass online for a year and a half.
I've been on the couch. I drank last night. I don't do this anymore. I don't fully fight.
That's what men are about, pushing each other.
Of course. I haven't done this in years. I just do it for you. Who cares?
I love it.
That was great.
But I want to show people. One is a man who's back here.
Who cares? He does, because I want to show all the haters that they're wrong and I'm a badass. You know, you're not. You're fruity. You are fruitier than the produce aisle at Aldi's, you fucking wretch.
Second, you know how to make peace. Even with people that are upset with you, don't like you. We're here as men.
Stop talking.
Harder than ever before. And forget this shit talking stuff like that. At the end of the day, we need to save each other, man. Help one another.
Yeah, that was Omega level cringe, and that guy was washed as hell. But consider this. Consider this. He was saying, oh, I've been drinking last night, I've been on the couch. Basically, he said he's a bum, right? And Azule was huffing and puffing. He looked like he had actually gone through something, that he was exhausted. He was breathing hard. If that's what he's gonna bring to the whole Gypsy Crusader fight, his ass is grass. So you know what? If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to smash that like button on the way out. And if you enjoyed the content, then consider subscribing to the community and swing on by the Bubba Discord. Until the next AMU episode, guys. Later.
Okay. I gotta see if anybody identifies this clown in the comments. They dug up Jared the Jackhammer Papazian from his grave to fight Ben Dover Azuli for him to be a human punching bag. They probably cut Jared a check just to take a fall. That's exactly what I said. Okay. Hold up. Different Jared. Totally different Jared. If this guy's name is actually Jared, which I don't buy it is. Oh, from his grave. Yeah. I must have missed that part. Dug him up from his grave. Ugh. King, she was only 15, Azuli. Fake it till you flake it. This fight will never happen. Asuli is such a coward. Bend over Azuli sparring a retired fighter with more cuts in the video than a Steven Seagal movie. Right? I thought it was just me. I thought it was just me. I didn't make any mention of it. I thought that was just the way Bubba cut it, but no. You can smell the fear coming through the screen watching him talk to Jay Shields. Okay, so wait. Okay, so Jake Shields was the guy he was yapping with at the beginning. I don't watch UFC. I don't watch MMA. I'm not really a big sports guy, which is hilarious because I've been looking at possibly playing more sports games on the channel. You would think the fact that I've never been a sports guy would lead me to not wanting to play any. But Super Nintendo, PS1 era had some pretty decent ones. He fights like a toddler, throwing both hands and legs at the same time. Oh. Andrew Tate has no clue who this clown is. His hair wasn't even messed up by that spar. That is so true. It was in the same position it was as before. A bodybuilder role-playing as a fighter. Everything is great. We shake hands, respect. He's literally saying, go easy on me. Don't embarrass me, please. Let's have a cordial day. Oh, this one. You're in my DMs and not your wife's. Who the fuck is DMing their wife? That's a good question. The guy he sparred with said, as Holy's bag work was trash, and Ben was like, I don't want to show my moves because Gypsy would copy it as the reason why he had such sloppy bag work. That's UFC fighter. Ben asked to pretend. Ben asked to pretend. Okay, that's my favorite one. If Assholey was scheduled to fight a long-term coma patient, he'd make some excuse not to show up. Hell, even if the brave Black Knight from Monty Python was Assholey's opponent, he'd still chicken out. Now he thinks he's Goldberg. Oh my god! I'm glad I'm not the only one who caught that. I am so glad I am not the only one that caught that. I gotta see it again. That was so
You're next. You're next.
That is so unbelievably cringe. On what planet and what solar system did you ever think that would be a good idea? I would laugh if I did that. Everybody in my entire immediate family would laugh me off the face of the earth. That is so pathetic. Why? Why are you such a fruit?
Subscribing to the community and swing on by the Bubba Discord. Until the next AMU episode, guys. Later.
The TikTok DoorDash girl.
Alrighty. So next up we have another one from Atozy. The TikTok DoorDash girl's legal case is going awful for her. Good. Actually, no,
Cutscenes.
You've killed me.
Good.
Oh. Oh. Count Dooku voice, I've been looking forward to this. Oh, God.
Filmed a naked man passed out inside his own home and then posted it for nearly 30 million people to see, and then claimed that she was the victim. So, naturally, she got hit with 2 felony charges, and after months of failed plea negotiations, she has decided to fight this thing in front of a jury.
This is related. They just punished me for posting about my while door dashing. They just fired me, and the police are doing nothing. I lost my job, and that was my only way to make money to pay my bills.
Now, if you watched my last video on this case, you would know...
Ugh. She looks like Harris from the Roseanne review. Oh! 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 You notice how she had those really wide eyes, and she didn't blink once? That whole video, her eyes are just psycho eyes. Amy's Baking Company looking ass. If anybody remembers that episode of Kitchen Nightmares.
We've been waiting forever for something to actually happen in this case. I literally flew to Oswego, New York to watch Olivia Henderson appear in court, only to just, get there, see everyone. I saw her there. And then everything got postponed. Or, well, it wasn't technically postponed because it got moved up to county court. So essentially, I just had to pack up my bags, go home, and waited. Then she got indicted months later. And now, after even more months of court dates and motions, and I guess trying to work things out behind the scenes, we finally know what's going on because Olivia Henderson is preparing to go to trial.
The internet can't seem to get enough of the criminal case of Olivia Henderson, the now former DoorDash driver, on TikTok, claiming she was harassed by a customer, naked, asleep on his couch, when she delivered his order last year.
I was assaulted by an unconscious man. Oh my God. Sure, dude. Oh, good. Really, YouTube? Wait, hold up. I don't know why I reacted the way that I did to, because I actually haven't watched the... Oh! Dude. Kaysen, my dude. Oh my God, she even oh my God, she even has that "I'm better than you" smirk. Ugh.
But then police charged her because she recorded him and posted the video.
So she appeared in Oswego County Court again on July 31st, and Olivia and prosecutors have failed to reach a plea agreement, which is pretty big because remember, what she's accused of doing here back in October 2025, Olivia was delivering a DoorDash order when she arrived at a customer.
That's just the character. Well, I kind of assumed it was.
House, and according to her, she found the door open, and inside was a dude passed out on his couch naked from the waist down. Police later said that he was drunk, unconscious, and incapacitated, so Olivia recorded him from the outside of the apartment and posted the footage to TikTok, where it absolutely exploded. And we're talking 30 million views. I mean, that is a lot of people seeing a passed out dude naked. That is not ideal, especially because obviously this was without his consent. Then she also claimed that the man had intentionally exposed himself to her and said that she had been assaulted.
He intentionally exposed himself. He was drunk and passed out, but he did it on purpose. Are you retarded?
The woman who recorded a man without his permission while he was unconscious claimed that she was assaulted by said unconscious man. Something's not adding up here. Regardless, police investigated this and said they found no evidence that an assault actually occurred. So they said there was no physical contact, and their investigation concluded that the man had been unconscious on his couch because of alcohol. And last time I checked, it's not illegal to pass out drunk on your own sofa. It is very unfortunate that the dude managed to leave his door open, though. Regardless, though, the man...
Except he didn't leave his door open because she opened it. She is on Ring camera footage opening it.
wasn't charged, Olivia was. And she's now facing 2 felony charges, second-degree unlawful surveillance and first-degree dissemination of an unlawful surveillance image. So this is the act of filming him and then the act of posting these videos on TikTok. But here's where this update gets really interesting, because for months, I mean, one of my biggest questions was, how do you defend this? Because, you know, she filmed it and she posted it. That's what she's being charged for. Well, I would think this would be case closed because there isn't too much mystery about it. And apparently, her own attorney also agrees with that part. So her public defender, David Smallwood, told News Channel 9, I think there's very little argument on what the evidence actually is, on what actually happened.
Her public defender challenging the prosecution's narrative, she invaded her victim's privacy, an argument he's asking the judge to rule on.
Well, it is reasonable to expect for most people that you have privacy. If you do something to not have privacy, then you no longer have a reasonable expectation of privacy.
Emphasizing it was the customer who left the solid door open with just the glass door as the barrier to his home.
And that seems to be the argument they're preparing to take into court. They're not really fighting over whether Olivia filmed and posted the man. They're fighting over whether doing that actually meets the legal requirement of, you know, these felony charges. And I guess a huge part of this argument comes down to 2 questions. First, how much privacy can you legally expect from inside your home when your front door is open? And number 2, was this man's front door even open in the first place? Because Olivia's attorney is now leaning hard into that first question. Smallwood says the homeowner's door was left wide open, exposing him to the public. Basically, the defense appears to be arguing, yes, this man was inside his own home, but the door was wide open, so anyone could see him from the street. So essentially, if his door was wide open and someone standing outside could see him, did he still have reasonable expectation that no one would see or record him? And I guess that distinction matters because the unlawful surveillance charge involves recording someone at a place and time which that person has reasonable expectation of privacy. This isn't just like Olivia's attorney standing up there and going, well, what she did wasn't that bad. No, he's attacking the actual part that the prosecutors have to prove. I can at least understand the legal question they're raising. Like, if you're standing naked in front of a giant open window facing a crowded sidewalk, do you really think no one's gonna see you? But I guess that brings us to the second question. Because before we spend 10 minutes debating on what an open door does to your right to privacy, I would like to know whether this door was actually open or not. Because Olivia is saying it wasn't. We had early reports saying that it was like open, but not fully open, and that she pushed it open. But the big problem with that is we haven't seen any proof that that was the case. All we really have is Olivia's side of the story, and obviously the video. So essentially, Olivia's main...
I'm pretty sure somebody already brought up, unless I hallucinated it, which I'm pretty sure I didn't. I'm fairly positive somebody else brought up that there is ring camera footage of her pushing the door open. I don't remember if it was Angry Cops or somebody else, but I'm pretty sure I saw a video of her from a ring camera, from this guy's ring camera, pushing the door open.
Maintained that she arrived and found that door open. And some of the more recent reporting describes it that way too. The Oswego County News reported in June that the police said that she arrived to the customer's apartment and found the door open. But if you remember the original controversy, people were going frame by frame through the footage and were questioning whether that was actually what happened. Because you had a whole bunch of claims online, at least early on in the story, where people said the door wasn't wide open, and that Olivia maybe pushed it further open herself before filming inside. And that obviously would be a very different situation. Because obviously there's a massive difference between I walked up to this house and there was a naked man visible right there, or she walked up, the door was kind of open but not fully open, she kind of saw a glimpse of the guy and then pushed open. I don't know. There was also some early reporting alleging there was ring camera footage from a neighbor. So again, this will be really...
She's the full sentence. She really does. I'd be shocked if she gets it because she's a first-time felon. But she really should get the full sentence.
Interesting to see if that's true or not. And right now, based on the reporting we have, I don't think we should pretend that the question has been completely settled. What we do know is that police said Olivia recorded the man from outside the apartment. We know Olivia says the front door was open. And now we also know that her attorney is arguing that the door was wide open and that this man gave up some reasonable expectation of privacy. But whether the evidence actually backs that up, I guess we'll...
She's like the TikTok psychic delusional. Good God. Dude, I wish I could include a Tozy's video on the update about the TikTok psychic, his most recent one, but it's literally 95 minutes long. It's like it's a fucking movie. It's a feature-length movie.
We'll see that in court. Because obviously, if the entire defense leans on the dude's door being wide open, hopefully nothing comes out that disproves that. But regardless, despite all of that, all the headlines are now saying Olivia Henderson is officially going to trial. And there will be one big hurdle before we actually get there, because her attorney is trying to get these charges thrown out. Smallwood has asked the judge to review the grand jury record and determine whether prosecutors gave enough evidence to actually support an indictment. And remember, this grand jury is the reason Olivia ended up in the county court in the first place. So back in May, prosecutors presented their evidence privately to a grand jury, and the grand jury voted to indict Olivia on both felony charges. And no, that doesn't mean they found her guilty. It means the prosecutors have cleared the hurdle necessary to move forward with the case. But now, Olivia's defense is challenging that indictment. And based on Smallwood's comments, we have a much better idea of why. He isn't really disputing the basic sequence of events. Again, he basically just said there's really no arguing what the evidence is, which is also kind of a wild sentence to hear from a defense attorney in a case like this, because, you know, that's been the point from the beginning. Like, at the end of the day, we're not trying to figure out who held the camera and who posted these videos. Even Olivia herself is public.
Well, it depends on what your definition of intercourse is. Bill Clinton sounding ass. Well, that depends on what your definition of open is. Regardless, she shouldn't have whipped her camera out, recorded a man, tried to ruin a man's life by claiming he SA'd her, and repeatedly shriek, "I'm the victim!" all over her fucking TikTok.
They talked about posting it and why she believed she was justified in doing so. So the legal fight is over whether those actions actually satisfies the crimes prosecutors were charging her with, and if the judge agrees with the defense that they don't. So who knows? I mean, the charges could actually be dismissed at Olivia's next court date on September 9th. So technically, there is still a path that she might not get a trial at all. But if that challenge fails, we're going to court. Because the other huge update from this hearing is that Olivia and the prosecutors have failed to reach a plea agreement. And this is interesting to me because in my last video I said a plea deal seemed like the most likely way this would all end. Apparently not, though. At least, not so far. I mean, we don't know exactly what was offered during these negotiations, what Olivia would want to accept or not, or which side refused to budge. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know what's going on. But I am surprised a plea deal didn't happen. And the trial can happen as early as October if all this goes through. Although there is actually another unrelated trial affecting the court's schedule, so if that gets in the way, the trial would actually happen in January, which I think I was in Oswego in January of 2020 of this year. So if we actually don't go to trial for a full year after the first time I appeared, that would be crazy. Regardless, it was very cold there in January, I can confirm. This would definitely be a very interesting case to be a juror on, though. Like, imagine the shock, not hearing about any of this, and you find out some woman did this on TikTok, and you're sitting here like, there's no way this is real, but it is. This is definitely a top 10 jury duty trial. The one that takes the cake is absolutely the TikTok psychic one, though. I mean, that must have been a full-on trip for everyone who was a juror on that case. But regardless, this is just a horror story of how some dude passed out drunk in his apartment and woke up the next morning with 30 million people having seen his junk. That's not ideal. But
at least not in the way that she... At least not the way that she did it. I mean, ideally speaking, you don't want 30 million people having seen you like that in general. But if you're going to end up being that guy, there are more dignified ways of doing it.
there is also another part of this that I don't want to get lost in the legal arguments. Like, even if Olivia could see this man from where she was standing, seeing someone and recording their naked body, that's two different things. And recording it and then posting it for nearly 30 million people online to watch, that's a whole nother...
Their unconscious naked body, so they cannot consent to it. We got chick was friends a few years ago that started drama. And made YouTube videos debunking same age as this bitch. Ugh.
step as well. And that's ultimately what the prosecutors are accusing her of doing. And this is also why I just think this whole situation is so crazy, and the way it's unfolding is just crazy as well. Olivia originally posted the video because she wanted, I guess, to warn other female delivery drivers and expose what she believed this man had done to her. But instead, police investigated her allegations, said they found no evidence that an assault occurred, and arrested her instead. And now prosecutors eventually secured a felony indictment. Now again, the plea negotiations have apparently gone nowhere. Her attorney is trying to knock out the indictment, and unless the judge agrees to dismiss these charges on September 9th, Olivia Henderson could be sitting in front of an Oswego County.
Sorry guys, I was chewing on some ice. No, she did not. She can act like her intentions were noble, but she wanted to get famous online. She wanted to go viral. That's why she did it. She did not give a fuck about. She does not give a fuck about protecting the public. She cares about being internet famous. And it was like, well, you're famous now, just not in the way you wanted.
Jury as early as October. So this is how we went from a viral TikTok to an arrest and now to a grand jury indictment. Drop a like on this video if you want me to actually fly out there and cover it again. But until then, I shall get some sleep because I have a raging fever currently, and unfortunately in this job, you don't really get sick days. I would just get way too behind on videos. So thank you guys for the support. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
All right. I cannot wait to see the outcome of the trial. I hope it happens in October, because I know the legal system is a slow, lumbering brachiosaur, but sometimes you get quick results. So the next one we're going to is. It's going to be an evening stream for us tomorrow. So our next one on the list is another Danger Dolan video. Or another Planet Dolan video. 15 people who had one job and failed. You had one job.
Planet Dolan. What product shipped, not even knowing which way it was left? What friend's advertising strategy immediately proved it to be false advertising? Here are 15 instances of people screwing up the most basic shit imaginable. I'm Danger Dolan, and today I will be your narrator. Number 15. In a failure of the most basic geography, this is an outline of the continent of Africa on a shirt that says Asia. Maybe it's ironically wrong on purpose. Otherwise, this went through design, printing, mass production without anyone noticing it was a picture of fucking Africa with the word Asia on it. Number
Maybe the design, maybe the shirt making was outsourced to a sweatshop in India or China. It wouldn't shock me.
14. It's sort of understandable when people miss instructions that are written in tiny little fine print. But this isn't fine print in a 1,000-page instruction manual. It's just 3 words in giant letters. There are only 3 words on the box, and they're being blatantly ignored. Number 3.
That doesn't shock me at all. That really does not shock me at all. Because I see it at my job all the time. People just, for whatever reason, just lack the basic ability to reason or read the most standard of shit. It's actually jarring how few people actually bother reading before they do anything.
13. The irony here is especially thick. All I have to do is put the fortune inside the cookie. It's not complicated. Honestly, this isn't even a good fortune. What job is it talking about? Obviously not the manufacturing of the cookie. Number 12.
Wow. Was it a matter of where it's like he was so dumb that he just could not get it in. That he couldn't get it in, and so he just gave up and said, fuck it. Apparently YouTube found it offensive that I said I got a voicemail from my ex-wife of my son saying he loved me. YouTube! What could possibly be offensive about that? There's nothing offensive about that. It's a wholesome message. It's a wholesome comment in the chat. Are you... AI moderation. It's evolving. Just backwards.
The real funny thing about this is that the buttons are manufactured separately from the remote. That means, for this to get to market, the buttons had to be made, then they had to be assembled into the remote itself, and nobody noticed something was off. The only explanation here is that this was assembled someplace where English isn't their first language, so it didn't really matter what words were printed on them. Maybe they should just hire someone to check stuff like this. Although you could still deconstruct the buttons and what they represent. I mean, this could be an inverted pyramid, and it's just on its side, and it's saying this is the right way up in relation to the floor being on the right. You know, something like that. Some explanation that isn't just they were fucking lazy. Number 11.
Or completely illiterate. Neil can moderate my posts. Suck like Mr. Garrison. Oh. How would you like to suck my balls, Mr. Garrison? As much as I hate South Park, that clip is golden.
11. In the newspaper world, sport news is consistently...
Oh, I forgot to give a remark about the... I'm just getting flashbacks to Full Metal Jacket when he goes, Private Pile, do you expect... He goes, you are dumb, Private Pile, but do you expect me to believe that you don't know left from right?
Number 11. In the newspaper world, sport news is consistently one of the last type of stories to come in before the paper goes to print. So while people are waiting for the sports reporter to file a story, the editors usually put someone in as a placeholder. That's all fine, but it is very important that the editors remove that and replace it with an actual headline.
American fools. Your intellect is as weak as your dollar. Failure is your destiny. You disrespect yourself and your nation. You are made of stupid.
Ugh. That's about all I can really say about that.
Fine, before printing it. Number 10. Knives for school. Now, if they're talking about culinary school, I guess this is fine. But they should probably put that on the sign. Because if you're talking about elementary school, it could go wrong. Number 9.
That... Oh, God. I'm still trying to go over the knives for school thing, and then I read that. Ah! Why? Why?
First place. Was it supposed to be first place or third? Looks like there's a brighter, possibly gold medal behind this one, so maybe this one is supposed to be third. But is the other one first or third? Number 8. There's probably a lot of times with plushies and kids' toys where a minor misplacement in one of the eyeballs, not really a big deal. This is not one of those times.
As you mentioned, this is the thumbnail. This is the image they went with for the thumbnail for this video. Oh. Oh. What did you do to Nala? What did you do to Nala? You know what that reminds me of? I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. But I did. Look at the eyes. Call for disease. That's what it reminds me of. Blind, except this was done intentionally. It even has Braille on the packaging. I'm not joking. The store that I work at, we literally sold these. And once I saw them, I could not unsee them. We don't sell them anymore, but once I saw it, I could not stop laughing to save my life. Remember the woman who blinded herself on purpose because she longed to be disabled? Oh, God, I do! What is it with absolute fucking freaks who just fetishize disabilities? Because that's what it is. Ugh. Yeah, look. Blind Barbie. She has blue eyes. One eye blue this way, the other blue that way. She got atchophoria disease. One eye looking at you and the other one looking for you. I didn't know they made a doll out of Cyrax's birth mother. Until I saw Blind Barbie. That is such a cursed doll, I can't even tell you.
This is a misplacement that has turned a beloved Disney character into deformed monstrosity. To give kids nightmares, just see it in the store. Number 7. It's fine to have a stairway railing that goes continuously all the way up the stairs. It's also fine to have each stairway have a separate railing that goes down the middle. This is not okay. Pick one or the other, not both. Have no railing at all would be actually kind of better than this. Number 6.
Wow. I got nothing. I literally got nothing.
6. The message here is fine. It's important to be considerate of cyclists using road space. But to say this is missing the point is a bit of an understatement. Perhaps the greatest irony is that the sign, it's a bit of a...
Wow. They were too lazy to put it on the grass, so they put it in the cycling lane. That's hilarious. Too far to the right. Completely too far to the right. Just put it on the grass.
An understatement. Perhaps the greatest irony is that the sign, it's kind of redundant. There's a bike lane. Space has already been made for the cyclists. It's not like they use the sidewalks or crowded, weaving between cars. Literally, if they just move the sign, there's plenty of space now. It's trying to fix a problem that it created. Number 5. Socked. Not even that long or difficult of a word. They should already know how to spell stop. Let's just assume they didn't for a second. Maybe they were confused. There is a sign. There is a stop sign right next to this. All you have to do is look 2 feet to the right for reference. Or maybe it's just time to stop. Number 4.
I had a friend in high school who was dyslexic, who could instantly look at that and decipher what the issue is. Apparently she should have been the one stenciling the word stop onto the road there. R.I.P. to the woman who's the what meme.
If you're building a kitchen, it seems like rule number 1 should probably be something like, maybe we should make sure you can open the drawers. Designing a kitchen free from this kind of infuriating design flaw seems like a very important thing to do. Instead, you have not 1, but 2 drawers that are useless. Well done. Number 3. The way humans are constructed, that's an important thing to do.
At no point in time installing those did you ever stop to think this might be a shitty idea. Frankly, I'm amazed that you even got them installed in the first place.
Dude, instead you have not one, but two drawers that are useless.
How do you fuck that up? Literally.
Well done. Number 3. The way humans are constructed, the head goes at the end, not in the middle.
No, nobody gave a shit. Nobody gave enough of a shit to fix it.
Apparently these guys didn't get the memo. These billboards don't go up in just a few seconds either. It takes time to install these things with lots of manpower.
So that's one puzzle from the RE1 remake. Also, W for using footage from the movie The Shadow. I think it's from The Shadow. It's been a while since I last watched it, but...
Well, maybe not lots, but at least one person who knows what the fuck they're doing. And at no point during the installation process did that person stop to say, hey, wait a minute! Wait, I'm a dumbass!
Yeah.
Number 2, the sign advertises exactly one thing about this phone. It floats on water. That's literally the only thing it's supposed to do.
It most definitely does not. It's clearly not floating on water.
They were so proud of it. They gave it a fish tank to prove its worth and a kind of smiling Dick Smith guy. And it failed. It's not even pretending to float. You might as well just buy a rock that can ring people. Number 1. It's fairly safe to assume whoever assembled this amiibo has never seen the word Pokemon before. I almost have to wonder if they've even seen an animal before.
Oh. Oh. I'm speechless. That is such... It was made by a guy named Dick. I'm not surprised. He went through the wrong portal. He most definitely did. Oh. Or that one audio file that you find in Doom 3 where they talk about the guy the guy that went through the teleporter and like half of his body remained and then his legs just went somewhere else.
Sure, maybe they thought the tail was supposed to be an antenna, but how many animals have a pair of ears on their ass? So guys, what's the most embarrassing you had one job moment you've ever seen? Let us know in the comment section down below. Pin our favorite to the top. That is it for this countdown. Have a good one!
I encounter so many you had one job moments at 5 days a week at work that they all just start, after a while, they all just blur together. Isn't that the guy who became the Pinky Demon in the movie? Yeah, he did become the Pinky Demon in the movie.
Hey.
All right. So the last video we have queued up for the evening is a return of Joe from Seattle. Says gamers are celebrating layoffs now, but why? I'm wondering if this has to do with the Bethesda developers that were fired recently, and they held a picket. They held a protest outside Bethesda HQ, and then the video of them protesting went viral, and everybody was just like, "Yeah, we can see why you got laid off." I mean, I don't think most Xbox fans give a shit whether or not you're playing Halo, playing the Halo remake on Xbox or PlayStation or PC.
Hey guys, look.
Halo Studios cuts. Okay, so this is about the this is about those layoffs that just got hit. What was it? Halo Studios? I thought it was Bethesda. Because I know that could Master Chief survive Doom? Oh, I have no doubt in my mind he could survive Doom. Or maybe it was like a case of Asha Sharma taking a cleaver to, because I know Asha Sharma was really taking a cleaver to Xbox's staff. She's I think right now she's doing what Elon did when he took over Twitter, and just really cutting the fat and cutting out the unnecessary bloat. You'd have to be careful. I'm sure Master Chief would adapt pretty quickly. So,
hey guys, look, it's happening. Alright, the big news of the day. Well, I guess the other big news of the day. There were two big newses of the day. The first big news of the day was, remember that whole, like, Blizzard essay thing? I hate to say essay, it's just...
Fuck Jason Schreier. Doom guy would decapitate them. Doomslayer would decapitate the Necromorph 5. He really would. Fuck Jason Schreier. I'm just going to put that out there. Fuck this absolute hairline in search of a man. This guy knew about the uncomfortable work environment at Activision Blizzard and sat on it. And sat on the information just to sell a book. Fuck Jason Schreier. I hope he needs to keister a landmine. Fuck this guy. Decimate, not decapitate. Well, that too.
Big news of the day was, remember that whole, like, Blizzard essay thing? I hate to say essay, it's just the way that YouTube monitors these things is so weird. Hey, YouTube, I'm gonna put an entire Blu-ray DVD of Ratatouille into my anus. That's not gonna get flagged. But God forbid I actually say the words that SA stands for. That'll get me auto-flagged. This platform is not real. But yeah, turns out Jason Schreier might have just been a snake about that whole thing, and it might not have actually been real. Whoa, color me surprised. Jason Schreier's just making shit up to not have actually been real.
What?
Turns out Jason Schreier's
pushback against claims that Blizzard's workplace misconduct allegations were made up, saying the reality is far more complicated. What? What? So he didn't sit on those allegations to sell a book. He just made them up to sell a book. What? Is that what happened? Yay or nay? Because if it's true...
You dirty, stuck-up, sadistic, shit-eating, cock-sucking, butt-fucking, penis-smelling, crotch-grabbing, ball-licking, semen-drinking, dog-raping, Nazi-loving, child-touching, cow-humping, perverted, spineless, heartless, mindless, dickless, testicle-choking, urine-gargling, jerk-offing, horse-face, sheep-fondling, toilet-kissing, self-centered, feces-puking, dildo-shoving, snot-spitting, crap-gathering, big-nose, monkey-slapping, bastard-screwing, bee-shitting, fart-knocking, sack-busting, splooge-tasting, bear-blowing, head-swallowing, bitch-snatching, hand-jobbing, donkey-caressing, mucus-spewing, anal-plugging, hole-grabbing, uncircumcised, sewer-sipping, whoremongering, piss-swimming, midget-munching, douchebag, hole-biting, carnivorous, mail-order prostituting asshole!
Jeez. Okay, Jussie Smollett.
might have just been a snake about that whole thing, and it might not have actually been real. Whoa, color me surprised. Jason Schreier's just making shit up to stay relevant and actually doesn't care about anything that's going on, or the people who are involved, as long as the people who are involved are saying the right things. Color me flarking surprised. It's almost like this is exactly what everyone who actually pays attention has been saying he does for years. But
or as I like to call him, Juicy Smell It. So in other words, Jason Schreier, being a journalist, you don't hate journalists enough. Oh, so he, so basically, homie is now identifies as as Woodward and Bernstein. The whole what an absolute bullshit nothing burger Watergate really is.
He leaked a game I liked that one time, so that means we gotta listen to him all the time. Anyways, the other big news of the day is this. Apparently, massive layoffs at Halo Studios are underway. Now, at the time that I'm recording this video, it's actually a little unclear if Halo Studios proper is having layoffs or if they're axing all of their contractors. But I don't really want to focus on the actual layoffs, or whatever they end up being. I want to focus on the internet's reaction to them, because I think it is extremely telling, and I'm starting to see several tweets like this, and tweets like this, and tweets like this, of people who really just don't understand why gamers are having the reaction they're having. What are gamers' reaction, you say? Well, there's this, and this.
Hold up.
Having. What are gamers' reaction, you say? Well, there's this.
I hope they got the entire studio. They destroyed a once-beloved franchise, and for that crime, they need to be blacklisted from ever touching game development again.
And this.
Massive layoffs at Halo Studios are currently underway, and it's a dude dancing.
And this.
Master Cheeks. He's face down. Oh, that is diabolical.
And this.
Oh, dancing
and
master.
This. I'm
chasing relentlessly. It's dancing. I think that's Haruhi Suzumiya.
Not kidding when I say that people are actively rejoicing the report of layoffs at Halo Studios, whether or not the report ends up being real. The reaction has been celebration, and I do find there to be tremendous irony in the timing, because this is all happening on August 5th, August 6th. Gosh, what else is happening on August 5th, August 6th? Oh yeah, the Gears of War E-Day beta, where the other Microsoft flagship shooter is showing what can be done with an entry in a legacy franchise. Meanwhile, Halo Studios, or 343, whatever you want to call them, they're the fucking same. They've spent the last, decade and a half systematically destroying this game and annihilating the community. For the millionth time, you don't have to dislike modern Halo. If you like modern Halo, that's perfectly fine. But the reason why I take some catharsis in the reports of a downsizing at Halo Studios, the reason why a lot of people are celebrating this openly, is because this is a studio that took one of the most beloved franchises in gaming history, one of the most important franchises in gaming history, and decided to bring in people to create a new chapter of this franchise, and they actively went against what the franchise was. And
yeah, because that always works out. People who know nothing about what makes Halo to work on Halo. Sure. That worked out well for the Paramount for Paramount Plus's Halo series. People who deliberately did not look at the games and just went off and did their own thing, and they wondered why that show went up like a fart in church. We had people who we hired who hated Halo because of X, says Frank O'Connor, but what that really meant was, I feel like this game should be awesome because of Y input that I'm going to bring into it. I want to prove, and I'm passionate about proving it. So we ended up with a bunch of people who were genuinely passionate about the project. Sure, that is a huge advantage, and that helped in hiring and forming our team. It's during that time you start questioning yourself, how is this going to work? Will it be as I envision it in my head? For Halo 4, he says, there were a few epiphany moments that helped boost the morale of the team. One of the earlier ones that Holmes recalls was when the team completed a small piece of the Halo experience that he described as a very traditional Halo. User research showed that people thought it was a lot of fun, and it showed that the team was capable of making a Halo game that was true to what the series was about. 343 scrapped it, Holmes says, as it was too traditional, but that first build showed the new team that this amalgamation of different studio cultures could work together and achieve a common goal. I never watched the Paramount Plus show. I saw that there were people who worked on it who blatantly ignored the game and just went off and made their own thing, and I was just like, I find that disrespectful. Okay, if you're not going to take the time to actually consume the media property that you're about to adapt, to understand what makes it the way it is and what draws people into it, then why should you expect me to have any interest in your interpretation of it? That's the way I think. If you're going to adapt a video game, you should look at the video game, you should play the video game, you should consume as much of that franchise as you possibly can to understand what draws people into the game to begin with. I find that approach. I find the approach of we're not going to look at the source material to understand what makes it work. I find that approach to be extremely disrespectful, both to the property and to the audience. So.
And what the community wanted. And you may be saying, Joe, why are you bringing up what happened with Halo 4? Because it's relevant. Because that was the start of it. This attitude of what you want from Halo doesn't matter. What we want from Halo is better. We will not give you what you're asking for because we know better than you. That attitude is rooted in the core of modern Halo development. And it speaks to a...
I hate that attitude so much of we know better than you. We know better than our audience. No one party knows better than the other.
Larger issue with the gaming industry because despite all the layoffs at extremely talented studios, despite the closure of extremely successful studios because the parent company needed to free up a budget, through all of that, Halo Studios and 343 seemed completely untouchable. I would like you to point me towards a single studio in gaming who can have hundreds of millions of dollars at their fingertips despite not putting out a successful game or widely positively received game for a decade and a half, and yet you are somehow unaffected by the layoffs that the rest of the industry is suffering from, the conditions that much more talented and much more...
I'd like to know how any studio is still... Let me go back.
Who can have untouchable. I would like you to point me towards a single studio in gaming who can have hundreds of millions of dollars at their fingertips despite not putting out a successful game or widely positively received game for a decade and a half.
I want to know, I want to ask the same question of studios that still exist but haven't put out a single game for so damn long, whether it's a new IP or a new entry in a beloved franchise. You know, it's been 11 years since we last had a proper... When did Fallout 4 come out? It has been almost 11 full years since Fallout 4 came out. It has been almost 15 full years since Skyrim came out. If you're a Fallout fan or an Elder Scrolls fan, it's been pretty bone dry for you. Because what do you have to play? out of those franchises. Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout New Vegas. Or not New Vegas. Fallout 76. No. New Vegas is the one that people actually like. Yeah, you have live service garbage. Yeah, sure, because that's what you want out of your Elder Scrolls or Fallout experience. Worked out for Final Fantasy XIV? Sure. Or Square Enix, who takes an entire console generation or two just to put out a new entry in Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts. Or Naughty Dog. Or... Oh, you're fine, Jason. That's what the VOD's for. Or how long it's been since Naughty Dog last released a game. A new game. What was it? 2020? The Last of Us Part 2? Because what have they been putting out in the last 6 years other than remasters of The Last of Us 1 and 2 and Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy? That's literally it. Yet they have hundreds of millions of dollars. Or Rockstar. How long? Naughty Dog is allergic to money. They can easily revive Jak and Daxter, but they won't. That is so true. Spyro and Crash made so much fucking money that it reignited interest in both franchises. So you would think that Sony would see that money and immediately be like, well, shit. We've got Jak and Daxter, we've got Ratchet and Clank, we've got Sly Cooper, but no! Number one, they didn't do it in the PS4 era because it didn't fit their model of every game being an over-the-shoulder, cover-based, third-person, cinematic action-adventure game with stealth elements. And now they won't do it in the PS5 era because it doesn't fit their model of a live service everything. Fuck Sony. Fuck the gremlins who currently run Sony. And have been running Sony since the PS3 era. I firmly believe that PlayStation peaked with the PS2, and it's been on a downward slope ever since. There's actually a Jak and Daxter remaster concept video floating around the internet. I saw that. I saw that was making the rounds. I hope I hope there's a playable build out of that. Oh, or I don't know if I mentioned it either. You have I know I have a PS3. I know, but let's not pretend that PlayStation hasn't been teetering since the PS3 generation. There's some good games to play on the PS3 and the PS4. Just for that cutscene, I think. There are fan-made, moddable ports of the Jak trilogy. That is very true. And emulation has also come a very, very long way. So, I don't know if I mentioned it. Sly Cooper. Remaster Sly Cooper! That would make gangbusters! Fuck! But no, PlayStation is just hell-bent on whoever's running PlayStation. Fan-made DRM-free PC ports, damn straight. But whoever is currently in charge of PlayStation, it's like they all suffer from a severe terminal case of helium head.
and yet you are somehow unaffected by the layoffs that the rest of the industry is suffering from, the conditions that much more talented and much more fondly looked upon studios and much more studios that are much more respectful to their consumers, they suffer these things, but you don't, because you were handed the keys to Halo all those years ago and have spent the last decade and a half going out of your way to not give people what they want, and while you are not giving people what they want, you're not really getting any better at the technical side of making it. Meanwhile, that collection of games from the previous developer, Master Chief Collection, that shit is annihilating everything you put out. Halo Studios and 343 have been on the community's, the worst side of the community, what's left of the Halo community, for a decade now. And for some reason, Microsoft's just been protecting them. And that's why this news started going viral in a positive light. I said in yesterday's video that people celebrate the death of games like Marathon, the failure of games like Marathon. People celebrate that stuff because it's an indication that gamers are winning. Something that had an excessive budget, all the money that went into Marathon, how many great indie games could have come from that budget?
Oh god, yeah. Marathon, Concord, look up Jack and Daxter, Crash Bandicoot. A crash level with Jack assets? That actually sounds sick. Actually, I'm curious. Bungie's extraction shooter Marathon on PlayStation 5 carries an estimated development and marketing budget exceeding $200 million to $250 million. Separate from ongoing live service operational costs. Just for comparison, Resident Evil Requiem, industry insiders' leaked financial data indicate that Resident Evil Requiem was developed with an estimated budget of $40 to $60 million.
Exposed, 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 exposed.
Hello, McFly!
Exposed, 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 exposed. You are exposed.
God damn. And Resident Evil Requiem is one of the biggest games of the year.
Instead, you got one subpar extraction shooter from a studio whose C-suite is just buying up fancy cars for themselves and keeping themselves really busy not making the game you actually want from them because they know better than you. They know what you want. You don't know what you want. Just shut up and eat the slop. People celebrate when games like that fail because it means gamers are winning. Because at the end of the day, these are all companies that need to make money. They all need to turn a profit, and the only way you can turn a profit is if you adjust your budgets.
This is Marvel and DC and Disney levels of over budgeting. Dude, you're not wrong. Oh, lest we forget, I brought up Concord earlier. $400 million budget. $400 million. Now, $400,000 $400 million divided by 40. Let's see, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, one more 0. 400 million divided by 40 million. A 10x difference. A 10-time difference. Now it's a $70 pit. Well, Concord retailed at $40. Which, the fact that they had the balls to charge money for that game still shocks me. A 10x difference. Gee. You're just burning. Moving PlayStation's headquarters from Japan to the U.S. was a colossal mistake. And anybody who's a PlayStation fan has been paying for it ever since.
And listen to your consumer base. The reason people are celebrating the idea of layoffs at Halo Studios is the same reason why people are celebrating the Steam charts of games like Marathon. It's the same reason why people celebrate the death of games like Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. It's the same reason why the losses on a game like Skull and Bones were paraded around the town square like it was the fucking St. Patrick's Day parade. It means we are winning. And I think the response to this news of Halo Studios layoffs has been made all the louder by how close it is to Gears of War E-Day, which is proof that a Microsoft-managed AAA studio of a legacy shooter franchise can still make something that you want. They're still capable of listening to you.
Found out you compared her to the DoorDash girl and is blowing up your comments with defamation threats? Are you shitting me? Are you actually serious? Okay. To Kaysen's former friend, who is now crashing out on him, have a Coke and a smile and fuck off.
You just have to be louder. Gamers are very frustrated right now. Ooh, and as I'm recording this, it's been confirmed that yes, we are looking at
Now the layoffs are starting to appear on LinkedIn as employees announce they've been effective. This is just the beginning. It feels like Halo Studios isn't done making cuts yet. What a mess. I have all comments held except for trusted users, and they're all from her. Oh my god. I hope Asha Sharma keeps gutting the fat. PlayStation really needs to start gutting the fat, or they're going to end up in the same exact position that Sega went into. And wouldn't that be so beautiful? Wouldn't it be just amazing if because PlayStation is the reason Sega exited the console market. The PS1, because the PS1 cratered the Sega Saturn in terms of console sales and software sales, and the PS2 hype for the PS2 alone killed the Dreamcast.
Upper Halo Studios layoffs, not just contractors. Which, let me be the first to say, or third, fifth, 10th, millionth to say, good. If you can't make good games, like, I don't know why this is a weird concept. If you can't make good games and you aren't going to listen to the people who buy your shit and you can't do it in a timely manner and manage your budgets, you need to be fired. Now, do I think that people...
This goes not just for game developers, this also goes for Hollywood. Y'all have some serious bloat that you need to get rid of, and it needs to start with those unions. And honestly, you need to move out of California because it's too expensive to work there.
People at the top of the pyramid are the ones going to be fired. Actually, maybe. If you had asked me a couple years ago, I would have said no, absolutely not. But since Asha has been in charge, I don't think anyone's safe with this gal.
She's not exactly playing favorites, and I respect the hell out of that. I love that Asha Sharma is not playing favorites. Godzilla Generations was a Dreamcast launch title. That is true. That is true. Oh, I need to find an excuse to play more Dreamcast games on the channel. Eesh.
The helm. And frankly, I love that. But my point is this. If you see people saying things like this...
Only in Japan. That is also true. I'm sure I can find... Maybe I can find an English patch hack of it somewhere online.
How could you be celebrating? How you don't deserve anything, you're celebrating layoffs. Don't ask me why I'm celebrating the layoffs. Ask the studio why they hired them in the first place. Ask the studio where the money is going and what the point of the spending is. Ask the studios what they are going to do to recoup the budget. What is the strategy? Because if the strategy is anything other than making a good game that people want, I don't care. We are all done with this. It's been far too long. The gaming industry needs to be completely fumigated, and it's about time that these seemingly invincible studios felt the consequences of their actions. There has been a shocking lack of consequences in the AAA industry. That is why gamers are celebrating now. It means we are winning. And if you want to argue that, Joe, you shouldn't be celebrating layoffs, it's so bad to celebrate layoffs. I didn't tell them to make those budgets. I didn't tell them to hire those people who don't do anything. All I told them was that if they make good games, I will buy them.
Exactly. I hate that whole sequel. Maximum Impact was also Dreamcast Japan exclusive. It's a localized. Yeah. Oh man. Could you imagine? I mean, there is a massive dedicated Dreamcast community anyway. Dude, some of the stuff the Dreamcast community has done, they have made a Dreamcast port, a full top-to-bottom Dreamcast port of GTA 3. There's a Dreamcast port of Halo Combat Evolved. There's a Dreamcast port of Half-Life. These are ROMs that you can play on your Dreamcast emulator. And if you wanted to, you could probably press them to a disc and have a physical copy of them to play on your... Well, you'd have to mod your Dreamcast, but you could play it that way. Dude, the Dreamcast has such a hardcore, dedicated fan base, it's insane, and I love it. Oh, I forgot. I was going to look up. How much was Halo Campaign Evolved? I didn't ask for what it costs. I didn't ask the price of MSRP. Okay, it hasn't been publicly disclosed. Community analysts and industry trackers project modern AAA remakes of this scale to cost anywhere from $130 to over $300 million. Compared to mainline series like Halo Infinite, which carried a rumored $500 million budget. Oh my god. There's a new horror game getting a native Dreamcast version. I saw that! Oh god, I can't remember what it was called. But I saw that. I saw the trailer for it. And it's like coming to Dreamcast, and I was like, oh my god. A brand new Dreamcast game in 2026. Or whenever the hell it's supposed to launch. But it, like Joe said, none of us asked them to spend insanely high amounts of money developing these games. Their lack of monetary oversight, they're just blowing money left, right, center, and sideways. That's entirely on them. We, the customers, the gamers, that their inability to budget responsibly is not our fucking responsibility. It is not our concern. Our only concern is, did you make a game that is worth me spending money on? And if the answer is no, you don't get our money. Don't they have to get permission from Sega? I don't think so. Not necessarily. I mean, Sega... I don't think Sega gives a shit. Sega's too busy looking to the future. They're busy building new games. They're busy, striking up deals to produce new movies based off of their games since, Sonic did so well. I think a dedicated fan community of people making brand new games or porting porting certain games from the PS2 and Xbox era over to Dreamcast, I think that's the least of their concern. At least Sega gives a shit about physical media. That is so true, man. That is a godsend. Well, because Sega... I think Sega still has... Yeah, they're still headquartered in Tokyo, in Japan. They have an American branch, but their global headquarters are in Japan. And Japan, and unlike the US and Europe, Japan still has a massive physical games market. Because collecting is huge over there. Imagine killing game discs but promoting vinyl. Dude! Oh my god. Oh my god. When Oh No It's Alex brought that up on his channel, I laughed so hard I fucking herniated. Oh my god. The actual balls on these people to say, we're killing game discs. Now buy our records. It's like physical media is seeing a massive resurgence right now. DVDs and Blu-rays, vinyl records, CDs, cassette tapes. VHS is making a comeback. VHS! Look, let me show you guys something. You see this? I started buying videotapes again. I haven't bought VHS tapes since 2012. It's been 14 years since I started buying tapes. Look. Look. And this is just a few of them. That's not even all of them. I have more sitting in a tote somewhere in the apartment. Because I have so many fucking movies that I literally don't have enough shelf space. So God damn. Goddamn Sony. Ugh. Why are you so retarded?
They didn't do that. Everything else is not on me. I am not responsible for your budgets, and I'm also not obligated to buy your shitty-ass games if I don't want them. It is your job to make me want them, and it's especially relevant in this situation because I am partially directly responsible for you having the franchise in the first place because I bought those games back in the day. I played those games.
Yeah, look at Sony. Yeah, but you got me so fried that my cat had to come in and see if everything was okay. So now he gets to cameo on the stream. Is that how you do? One of the executives responded to the upcoming week-long blackout by calling the player base bakas. Oh. 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 Why don't you baka this?
I was part of the giant community of people who gave you this platform, and you have done nothing over the last decade and a half except tell me that I don't know what I want and that you know better than me, and then you give me nothing.
If you need a cat sitter, I don't know. Sully doesn't really like car rides. They freak him out. He's afraid of being in the car.
And now you want me to feel bad for not giving you money?
Fuck you.
Fuck you. You deserve it. Doofus Club time. Masculine VT Gaming, Muskie, Paul. Paul Skeens over each. They're two different positions. This is so low effort. Joe, this pitcher is so much better than this outfielder who also hits. This guy who pitches and doesn't hit is so much better than this guy who plays outfield and does hit. Like, they're literally doing entirely different aspects of the game. This is so low effort. Be better. Failure to crash. Dirty Mike and the boys. Build 13 chart. Gaming Day people. Visual Drags. X-Market Game of Blast, 2014 AI, Slot makes Microsoft, everybody's got a water buffalo S, one check off, clock your cock off, clock off, cock off, clock off, clock off, cock. Unicorn Rocco, Joe, you should play Crap Champions, Mechanical Residents, Halfway Nuts, Ghost Ho, Random Boy, Physical for Life, Multi, Wannabe Hobo, Dirty Mike, and the boys. It's not even close, Joe, what are you doing? Wannabe Hobo, Jaguar 476, Free Fall Fingers 97, Shredder 1400, Nate, Henthai, Slippy, Blitz, Gaming Bird, Gaming with Dead People, that's what, oh my, what is wrong with me? I'm just like defaulting to names that aren't there. Blitz Gaming Bird, Kev Dog 1992, Poker Ralph, the Rat King, Ricky Spower, Ricky Dabby, Severin Evans, Gaming Trolls, FYT, Jake Spider Monkey 994, hashtag play has limits, every 60 seconds, a minute in Africa passes. Wow. Jerf, Joe, you should listen to Richard Cheese, it's Gouda, isn't it? Richard Cheese? Should have said it's Gouda. Fucking moron. The joke was right there. Grimsy, Roseblade, Moist Waffle, Joe, Gara, why are the hot clubs... Listen, what me and Gara do on our days off is what we do on our days off. Oracle, Drift Bandit, Stick Rider, Biogenesis, Cloaked Onyx, Blue Hook, Parchment 8, Jack Candy, Listen to McJay, Platypoi, Hen 6, Avatar Steven is missing, Diskette. Chris Boyd had Turtle Cards, got the Steam Controller, on the Best Sniper, Xbox Femboy, West of Rex, Simon 6, Flicks, of Blu-ray discs. Don't do 169 Baron, Von Home, Kushka, Smile. Joe, all you gotta do is 18 dozen eggs. That wasn't even close to the melody, Joe. You fucking moron. It's a hard nut, life, no payoff, into an Archie, Sick Nick, an extra induction, broken crown, so he's physically incapable and still fucking you, vast Dennis, Clip of England, JoJo 6, Master Killer, Unknown X17, a Sacrifice Lindsay, Summon Mitch, Backup, Bendefon Dude, T-Train, Nostalgia Club, and on the law, Highball, Soda, Snake Eyes 327, MK229 Ski, Fire Has 105, Tech Gaming, Slim Jim, Lord Bowser, Second Joe, Last Does the Moke, Little Autism, PC Gamer, Just Chevy, Career, the Stanley, Where My Physical Games Gone, Sony, Fox, Sony's the Sires, Fire doesn't do anything, True Texan 940, Ziggity, Career Warrior 23. I want more VeggieTales references. I'm loving the VeggieTales references in this, but we need more. Max Chef, Chad, Totally Insanity, Black Cobra, ML04, Wolf of the Night, WC, Masseuse, Film Cracken, On Gaming, Tree, Brown, Torres Game, Magnetic, Sprite, Breeze, California, Wyoming, Pow, Johnny Weston, Gob Godson, Rogue, Witch 919, Zach Thing, Him for Hire, Ellen Owl, Frost Crystal, Scuppies Go, Riasagi, After Tim, Honest 94, Wendy Wanker, Miss Next Week, Jody Pettis, Minnie McAdvertising, Diego Garcia, Kid Begins, I American Idiot, Unknown Justin, Raymond, Retune, Wing, 3-7, Westside, Dylan, C's, 926, Arch Veggie, 74, 71, 74, 21, 21, Groove Banana, Current Allen's back. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna edit this up while my Gears beta is preloading because fuck me, it's been a long time since I was this excited to do a beta for something. Like I'm watching the clock, I'm counting down the hours. Yeah, I'm recording this at like 7 in the morning because I'm a fucking early bird, but so I got some time to wait. But I am so excited. I am Quiznos. Good. I don't even think that's the jingle. Is it Quiznos or is it Sizzler? That has like the toasty. That's Quiznos. That's Quiznos. Not Sizzler. Does Sizzler still exist? Hang on, I have to check. I remember Sizzler being really big when I was a kid, but then I feel like I haven't seen one in a long time. It was like an Applebee's or a Chili's. Sizzler restaurant. The original. No, it still exists. Oh, there's one up, oh, that's not even close to me. What the fuck? Google just did the nearby places for Sizzler. It's like, yeah, Joe, go to Sizzler in fucking West Valley City, Utah. Dog, I live in Colorado. Why are you even showing me this? Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, at least the steak is consistently delicious and cooked just right. Oh, and this food came out surprising. Our steaks were... Is Sizzler actually just kind of cracked? Is Sizzler just Applebee's, but, like, actually cracked? I might have to make that road trip now. I'm taking the road trip up to Utah to go to Sizzler, baby. All right, Toodles.
What the hell? What the hell? Quiznos taste like shit. I don't know the last time I've had Quiznos. Like, we have one down here, but I don't ever go to it. Like, if I get a sub, it's usually from either Subway or Jimmy John's, or they did just open up a Jersey Mike's in my area, and I have been there at least once. So, never go to Quiznos. But anyway, the reason I had to get up a few minutes ago while Joe was reading his goofy ass channel member names, I'm glad that he brought up all the channel member names that have VeggieTales references, because one of the tapes that I bought in that little stack that I brought over earlier, it's Larry Boy. It's the Fib from Outer Space. I wish I could find a working VCR in my area. Oh, do you know there's a Larry Boy PS2 game? I want to play that on the channel at some point. Because I've never played it. I didn't even know there was a Larry Boy game. But anyway, that was fun. That was a nice little episode of Weaponized Autism for the evening, a nice little reaction stream for the week. And so before I sign off here, I'm just going to tease that tomorrow evening, Kason and I will be on for an episode of Bottom of the Bin. And we'll be talking about Godzilla's Revenge, which, Kason, you've brought it up before. With some very not nice things to say about it. AKA, all monsters attack. Yep. So, look forward to that tomorrow evening. I don't know yet if we're going to go at 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern. Just kind of working that out. But I'm sure it'll be... Kason has told me that it's considered one of the worst Godzilla films, if not the worst Godzilla film of all time. So that'll be interesting. But in any event, thank you very much for watching. Make it after 6:30 because I'll be guaranteed to be free. Done. So 6:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, which I'm in Midwestern time, so that would be like 5:30 my time. But we'll work it out. We'll work it out. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow evening. Bye-bye!